Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd be kind enough to take your seats, we'll call the February 2nd, 2011 meeting of the City Council to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. We always make this announcement at the beginning of any of our sessions that this building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. So if there are alarms, please leave through the exits, and our marshals will tell you when it's safe to re-enter. As I say, there's no reason to believe that that would ever take place, but we do this as a matter of caution. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Reverend Linda Kelly, Mountain View Presbyterian Church, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Let's join our hearts in prayer. God of great challenges and endless opportunity, we give thanks that this morning we saw the rich palette of a new dawn. We heard the laughter of children waiting at bus stops and took time to enjoy a hot cup of coffee. Today we give thanks for our mayor and city council who make decisions and shoulder responsibilities for the governance and maintenance of this city we call home. In these economic times when so many are concerned about employment, housing, health care, and finances, may they weave out wonders of goodness and grace. May they have the foresight to see all that can be and the will to make it happen. Grant them wisdom to act with integrity, inspiration to act with intelligence, and courage to address the opportunities of today and the challenges that lie ahead. These things we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey. Having you here. Sure. Good morning, everybody. This is the ceremonial portion of our agenda, and we have a lot of good things on the menu today. For our first two items, Councilman Barlow is going to recognize the Citizens of the Month and Black History Month. Councilman Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. Is this mic on? Good morning, everyone. Okay, that's more like it. I know it's cold outside. Listen, today I am pleased and honored to stand before you to recognize our Citizen of the Month. Traditionally, in the city of Las Vegas, the Citizen of the Month is an individual, and today I will be recognizing an organization. I am pleased to announce that the Ward 5 Citizen of the Month will be the Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada. So I would ask that they please come forward at this time, and that is Monsignor Leary, Philip Holland, Pat Holly, and Don Davis. Please give them a round of applause as they come. Please stand to the left. You can stand here, ladies, if you will. Catholic Charities provide diverse programs designed to help infants, families, and seniors regardless of race, religion, or creed. For the past 3 years, Catholic Charities, in conjunction with the Family Promise, Metro, and the City of Las Vegas, hosted the Phone Home for the holidays to assist and reconnect homeless persons to their loved ones by calling home during the holiday season. Through our transportation assistance program and neighborhood services, we're able to reunite 17, they were able to reunite 17 homeless persons with family and friends, and Greyhound tickets were provided for travel. Another specific project in which we have partnered include the Ward 5 turkey giveaway for seniors. I loaded up this past November over 500 turkeys in my neighborhood services truck to deliver turkeys to seniors throughout Ward 5. And as we were completing our turkey delivery, we got a phone call from another senior development, and they stated that they would like some turkeys, but we had ran out. And so we contacted Catholic Charities, and they came to the rescue to make sure that all Ward 5 seniors for the holiday received a turkey. And for that, I am grateful, and the seniors of Ward 5 are grateful. So for that, I applaud you, and please help me in congratulating to say thank you for that delivery. On Thursday, January 27th, it started at 1 a.m., Catholic Charities, in conjunction with Neighborhood Services Department, deployed out to count homeless for the homeless census that is conducted every odd number year in Southern Nevada. It's important for us to conduct this count of the homeless in the valley so that they will be in a competitive position to receive housing and urban development funds. In recognition of the services Catholic Charities has provided to residents for the betterment of the Las Vegas community, I would like to ask the mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council to join with me in recognizing Catholic Charities as the Ward 5 Citizen of the Month. Thank you all so very much. We have this beautiful certificate for you, and I would like for you to share a few words, if you will.
Thank you. It's much lighter than a turkey. All of us at Catholic Charities are proud of our partnership with the City of Las Vegas and all of our community partners. Like everything else, nothing is done by one person or one group. It's all of us together that makes us a strong community. We're proud to be part of this community as we celebrate our 70th year. So again, thank you all for all of your work, for being part of all that we do as a city of Las Vegas, as a community here in Southern Nevada. Thank you.
And you are so welcome. And thank you for all that you do.
And I've had the privilege to serve a couple of turkeys, too.
And for the month of February, this will be hung on 4th Street right outside of City Hall for the entire community to recognize you as the City of Las Vegas Citizen of the Month. Thank you so very much again. Congratulations to you. Thank you.
Good to see you again. Thank you. Thanks for everything.
And at this time, I would like to welcome the members of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Las Vegas Alumni Chapter as they celebrate Black History Ceremonial Delta Days in the city of Las Vegas. Ladies, would you please come forward? I would like to call Juana Jordan, who is the Golden Life member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and the chairperson of the Black History Celebration. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is a private nonprofit organization founded in 1913 at Howard University. Their purpose is to provide assistance and support to members through established programs in local communities throughout the world. Currently, they have well over 200,000 members located in the United States, England, Germany, Japan, Bermuda, Virgin Islands, Republic of Korea, and the Bahamas. Major programs of the sorority are based on the organization's 5-point program thrust system, which includes educational development, economic development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority has provided public service to the Las Vegas community since 1968 through programs and activities which include the Dr. Betty Shabazz Delta Academy, the Delta Gems, Delta Scholars, and the Salvation Army Pathways ASK program, plus many more. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated periodically visits local municipalities as part of Delta Sigma Theta's 5-point program thrust. They meet with local municipalities to discuss various public policy issues and exchange information and viewpoints regarding the challenges facing communities such as quality education, affordable health care, and economic viability. The The Deltas embrace the opportunity to assist and shape public policy to produce positive change and impart knowledge and empower citizens in society. In celebration of Delta Sigma Theta's amazing dedication to the residents of Las Vegas, I would like to ask the mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council to join me in honoring this sisterhood as they celebrate Black History Ceremonial Delta Days 2011. Thanks and congratulations to you. Ms. Warner, congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Juana Jordan, and on behalf of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Las Vegas Alumni Chapter, we would like to say thank you to our councilman, Ward 5, Ricky Barlow. We have a present to give to you, also to present to you.
Nice. Thank you.
And it does read as, in honor of your tireless leadership, dedication, and community upliftment on behalf of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Las Vegas Alumni Chapter, we thank you, Las Vegas City Councilman Ricky Y. Barlow, Ward 5, on today, February 2nd, 2011. Also, thank you to the Honorable Mayor Oscar Goodman and the illustrious honorable members of the council. We thank you for your continuous diversity and cultural diversity for all Nevadans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll most definitely place this in a prominent location within my office. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
Mayor?
You're going to share that with me, Councilman?
No.
Okay.
But I do have a drink that we can share.
Okay. For our next ceremonial item, Councilwoman Tarkanian is going to recognize the sustainable design of Fire Station 6. Councilwoman.
We are here today to give multiple honors to a ward-run project that's very close to my heart, Fire Station 6. This started out as a public-public partnership between the College of Southern Nevada and the City of Las Vegas. While we all knew, those of us who are working on it, we knew that this was going to be an amazing project, I'm sure that most of us had no idea how cutting edge it would be. This project is an instructional facility for the College of Southern Nevada, located on the college's campus. And it's a fully functioning fire station for the city of Las Vegas. The prime objective of the project was to construct an integrated facility providing seamless interaction between both institutions. And then after the fire station was opened, the Clark County School District joined us, the partnership, and they became a part of it by having their Bonanza High School, which is right across the street from the fire station, develop a magnet focus on fire science and take classes at the community college, which will then give them college credit as well as high school credit. And I would like to tell you that before the class began, every position was filled. They filled immediately and started a waiting list. So we're very proud of all of that. Last year, the fire station was officially opened on Monday, August 30th. And since then, it's received quite a bit of attention and accolades. And very recently, it also was given a special award, well, really two very prestigious awards. One of them is the best small project under $10 million. Ours was a $5.4 million project. And this was given by Southwest Contractor Magazine. And it also received a station-style design award for a notable shared facility project by Fire Chief Magazine. And to help me give out these awards, I would like to call up a few individuals. So with the following, please join me here at the podium. From Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, our Fire Chief, Mike Myers. Okay. From McCarthy Building, the general contractors of the project, could we have Project Manager Josh Brummels, Project Director Ryan Heater, and also Cam Walker, who's our councilman colleague from Boulder City. And finally, will the representatives from JMA Architecture Studios join us up here at the podium? I'd like to have a few words from McCarthy's representatives so they might discuss the Southwest Contractor Award and present it. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of McCarthy Building Companies, we would like to present this award from Southwest Contractor Magazine. Southwest Contractor Magazine goes out each year and surveys the projects throughout the state, and this project was chosen based on many factors, a few of which I'd like to mention. We worked together with JMA, City of Las Vegas, College of Southern Nevada to accomplish really great things out there and bring a project that had multiple stakeholders, bring that project in on time, actually ahead of schedule by one term, under budget. So Councilwoman Tarkanian, you should be proud of what the teams that report to you accomplished on this project, and we'd like to present this award to you and the council. Thank you.
You know, a lot of people who aren't here today and a lot of different varieties of jobs helped on this. But can you imagine we completed it before the due date? We completed it below budget, and my gosh, we just opened in August, and already we've had numerous awards. And these are very prestigious awards in the building industry. And I want to thank you very much, all the firemen and all of the instructors at, in fact, they stole our fire chief, I believe, at the Southern Nevada College. Thank you very much. And then if Mike Myers would come here, we'll have Mike discuss the Station Style Award.
Yes, another unique award is the Fire Chief Magazine Award, and I just wanted to thank both JMA and McCarthy Construction. CSN was a tremendous partner. Jorge, your group in architectural services, for the visionary leadership and the talent in design and construction. You guys did a great job, and thank you for providing such a fantastic fire station for us. Thank you. And on behalf of the city, I guess we have the Notable Design Award for Fire Station 6 for 2010.
Great.
Councilwoman, thank you.
Very
Great
welcome.
project.
You know, a lot of times people don't realize how forward-looking we are in Nevada. And sometimes they hear, oh, they don't really have any new ideas there or things like that, just new designs on big casinos. And that's not true. This is evidence that we have more than that, and there are other examples within the city. So I'm very proud of what we all do and how we've all worked together, and thank you very much, and hope that sometime you'll get out to Station 6. Thank you.
Thank you. The councilwoman is too humble. The truth of the matter is, this was her idea, to have a partnership between the community college, the fire department, Bonanza High School, and it's the only one of its kind, I believe, in the world. In the world. So we're grateful for that idea. It's a great thing. Okay, I've had it with all of you. Have a seat. And wait a second. Oh, okay. No, you're fine. Okay, for our next item, we're going to recognize the efforts of some local students who are joining us today to shadow city employees. We have about 30 students with us as part of National Job Shadow Day, and I'd like to ask Ken Lobeen, who serves as chair of the Workforce Connections Youth Council, to join us at the podium. Wait a second. Wait, which one is Ken? I think this guy was probably playing in the same field that Councilman Barlow used to play in when he was a kid. You're glowing again.
I know. I'm always glowing.
Workforce Connections has recently initiated Project 5,000 Kids to increase the high school graduation rate in Nevada and expose students to different workplace environments. I'd like to thank all the students participating in this program and welcome them to Las Vegas City Hall today. Ken, I want to present you with this proclamation naming today National Job Shadow Day in the city of Las Vegas, and we're urging all of our business community to connect with our youth and make an investment in the city's future. Congratulations for putting this together.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sierra Vista High School kids that are here, last year this program served about 300 kids. This year when we got involved, we're going to be serving today over 3,000 kids to 100 organizations. So that's an amazing thing. Last year, the city of Boston led the nation with 1,000 kids. That tells you how the business community stepped up. We had over 4,300 commitments to host from local businesses. The school district was great, the principals, everybody, but most importantly, we're going to be connecting young adults today to businesses and successful people in the community so they get an understanding of what the better educated you are, the better job you can get. Are they here? Yeah, they're all here. Stand up. Would your kids stand up, please? Mayor, thank you and the city for supporting us in this endeavor. Councilman Ross, who is on our Workforce Investment Board, has been a strong supporter of this effort. We really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. For our final item, Councilman Anthony is going to recognize one of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's most successful crime-fighting programs. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. One of my last assignment with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department before I was elected to the City Council was the captain of the Financial Crimes Bureau, and one of the units I was responsible for was the Crime Stoppers program. So I was able to see firsthand how this program was able to go out and find individuals who are wanted for felony crimes and bringing them to justice. So I thought it was about time that they received some good recognition for the work that they do. Crime Stoppers is actually a partnership between the law enforcement, the community, and the media. Crime Stoppers started in Nevada in 1979 and was known as Secret Witness. I'm sure a lot of you remember that term. With only $500 in a vision, Crime Stoppers of Nevada has become one of the Southern Nevada's most successful nonprofit crime-fighting organizations. Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit organization, and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is one of its community partners. The LVMPD assists the program by providing a full-time law enforcement support technician and a full-time commissioned officer. The commissioned officer is responsible for the law enforcement side and runs the and is also works with the volunteer board of trustees with running the nonprofit organization. Crime Stoppers in Nevada is available 24/7, 365 days of the year via phone, and was recently set up with the internet. It also has a Spanish-speaking operators that are available with information. Crime Stoppers in Nevada averages 1,000 calls a month and provides law enforcement with an average of 300 new tips per month. In the middle of 2010, Crime Stoppers in Nevada gained the ability to accept tips online, so they now receive almost 2,000 tips a month on felony crimes. So let me give you some statistics on Crime Stoppers. In 2010, Crime Stoppers was able to make 86 felony arrests, and 11 of those were for homicides. There were 44 rewards paid out for $20,000, and of those incidents, total value of property, money, and narcotics seized was $625,000. Since its inception, there have been almost 200,000 tips, 10,000 felony arrests have been made, rewards of $1.5 million has been given out, and there's been $61 million in property and narcotics that have been seized. Very good. At this point, I'd like to ask Sheriff Gillespie to come up, who is over the Crime Stoppers program, and Officer Jennifer Verschal, who is the officer that coordinates the Crime Stoppers with Metro. I'd also like to ask the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Brent Bell, to come up. The Crime Stoppers in Nevada is actually managed by a volunteer board of trustees. They represent all segments of society. They're the ones that actually coordinate and run the Crime Stoppers program. They're able to pay out the rewards for the tips, and all the money that is paid out is made by donations from people within the community. I'd like to recognize the board. I know some of you are here, so if you could just stand as I call out your name, and we'll give you a nice round of applause at the end. So we have Brent Bell, who's the chairman, Carolyn Sioka, who's the vice chair, if you could stand up. Warren Hill is the secretary. Don Martin is the treasurer. And then we have Denise Alderette, Larry Folsom, Ron Futrell, who I spoke to yesterday and is on his way to the Super Bowl, so I guess that's more important than showing up for this. Russell Peterson and Dan Stark. So if you could all stand and give them a nice round of applause. These folks meet every month and talk about Crime Stoppers and how to put those that are wanted for felonies behind bars. I also want to recognize those from Metro, George Castro, Lieutenant George Castro, if you could stand up, and Law Enforcement Support Technician Diane Dice, if you could stand up. And Financial Consultant Jeff Jones, if you could stand up. Jeff is not here. Okay, very good. Well, with that, I'd like to turn it over to the people that actually run this program. We'll start with Sheriff Gillespie.
Well, thank you very much, Councilman. I won't take credit for running this program. As you can see, some people within my organization, but more importantly from the community, run this program. And this is truly one of those public-private partnerships. And without the commitment of the private sector and the day-to-day oversight and the fundraising, this program would not be as successful as it is today. So on behalf of the community and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, to the President, to all members of the board from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, thank you very much for this program and all that you do to make it successful. And I also want to congratulate you all for taking on the initiative to move it forward. And change some of our policies and procedures in our approach. And because of that, tips are up, arrests are up, and property being returned as well as seized is up. So great work. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. Officer Rochelle.
I would just like to thank you all for this great honor. And I'd also like to mention that Crime Stoppers of Nevada is an unbelievable tool for all of law enforcement in Southern Nevada. And we just want the tips to keep coming in. And what I'd like to say to all of the tipsters, you are safe with us. You remain completely anonymous. And we are the ones who get your information to law enforcement. And your tips assisted us with over 86 felony arrests last year. I'd like to double that this year. And again, thank you all for your support. Thank you very much.
And how do they get a hold of Crime Stoppers?
You can reach us by phone at 385-5555, and you can also put your tips in via the web, and that's www.crimestoppersofnv.com.
Very good. And now the chairman of a great group of individuals who run Crime Stoppers, Brent Bell.
Thank you, Councilman. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I want to thank you, Councilman, Mayor, City Council, for this award. Our Board of Trustees works very hard. Lately, we've been meeting more than once a month, making a lot of changes and improving Crime Stoppers. The only problem with actually getting out and paying $44,000 worth of rewards in 2010 is we're running out of money. So I'm the salesman up here. Most people don't realize the biggest misconception that people have in the community about Crime Stoppers is they think it's funded by the county and they think it's funded by Metro, and it's not. It's a nonprofit 501c3, and we need community partners to keep this thing going. We have a few great ones now, but we're looking for some more. We have several sponsorship opportunities on our website. We're working on a new billboard sponsorship opportunity that you can get involved in. I see several attorneys in the room, successful law firms. We don't have a law firm firm that right now sponsors us, so I'm putting that invite out. And to any other industries or companies, we're looking for more community partners to get this thing rolling. 86 felony arrests in 2010 is quite substantial. So I also want to thank Sheriff Gillespie. Without his leadership and his staff and Lieutenant Castro, we wouldn't be nearly as successful as we are. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
You should have brought a basket. We could have passed it around. There's a lot of people here. Okay. Anyway, on behalf of the mayor and the city council, I have some certificates of recognition for the law enforcement side and for the Crime Stoppers board. So thank you very much for coming down. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's it. Okay. We're all set. Okay. Everybody. Your glasses? Yeah. Yep, right after the initial ones. Okay, I'm going to start. All right, folks, we'll call item number 10. Any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have item number 44, 6-month review, temporary work card. Brandon Deal, doing business at Chef's Pantry Catering, 2215 Thomas W. Ryan Boulevard. Staff has to strike. And item 48 is bill number 2010-31. Staff has to strike that also. Council members, are there any other items at this time? Seeing none, Your Honor, make a motion to bring these two items forward and take the appropriate action, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 11, approval of the final minutes by reference of the regular City Council meeting of January 5th, 2011. Is there a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Yes, Your Honor. No additions or deletions. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. This takes us to the consent agenda with items 12 through 37. They're on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward at this time? All right, seeing none. Yes, Ms. Falder.
Mayor, I need to bring forward item number 13.
Item number 13, all right. With the exception of that, are there any other items? May I have a motion then as to everything except
Yes, Your Honor.
13?
Make a motion to approve items 12 through 37 sections of item number 13, please.
Thank you.
With all conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 13 is approval of service and material checks, payroll checks, wire transfers, other checks, and investments. Ms. Falder.
Mayor, Candace Falder, Acting Finance Director. This item is pulled forward to correct the background information on your agenda. We inadvertently put a previous month's total in there. The grand total for the summary of cash expenditures, the period January 16th through January 31st, is $41,230,618.73.
All right, thank you very much for that correction.
Thank you.
May we have a motion then on item number 13, please?
Move to approve, please.
Let's vote on that, please.
No.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I just have a question on item number 31 and 33, how they're related or if they're different or if they're the same and how they work together.
You mean 31 and 33?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Flynn, Mayor, if you don't...
No, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Mr. Fack, could you please explain the difference between 31 and 33?
Do we need to reopen it?
Yeah, I guess we have to reopen them.
I'll make a motion to reopen items number 31. Do we need to do that, Beverly?
No? Okay, fine. Then it's just an explanation for one of our constituents, if you'd be kind enough to distinguish the two.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Item number 31 is approval of a contract for the outreach and master planning for the West Side School. Item number 33 is acceptance of a grant, which will be phase 2 of that project to actually do the historic renovation of the structure itself.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rainey, did you want to be heard? All right. Then we'll go on to, there's been a request, and it's a very legitimate request to call forward item number 44 so these youngsters could get back to school. 44 and 45?
Just 45. Just 45.
45, okay, this said 44.
Thank you.
No problem. Councilman Ross wants to get the kids back to school. I don't blame him. So we'll call 45.
Thank you, Mayor.
No problem. 45 is discussion and possible action on the Youth Neighborhood Association Partnership Program, the acronym for which is YNAP. Grant Review Board recommendations to allocate $23,000 for 23 youth-initiated projects, and this pertains to all wards. Mr. Harson.
Thank you, and good morning, Mayor and City Council. The Youth Neighborhood Association Partnership Program offers grants of up to $1,000 to youth to implement projects to improve their neighborhoods. The program challenges youth to identify a community issue or need and then develop a project to address that issue or need. The YNAP Review Board is a 17-member intergenerational board consisting of 9 adults and 8 youth. And this year, the YNAP Board is recommending 23 neighborhood projects to be funded with a total of $23,000. I just want to point out the 23 youth groups are pledging over $367,000 to match the funds that the city is expending. I have with me today Donna Toussaint, who is a board member. We have Nicole Vigil, who is a youth chair, and Gabriel Newell, who is the youth vice chair, and they're going to give the presentations as far as the recommendations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning, Mayor, and good morning, Council. My name is Donna Toussaint, and I am a board member on the YNAP Grant Review Board. This is an awesome project. I mean, I just can't tell you, this project really has my heart. But we couldn't be successful without some people that really give us guidance and direction. And one is Steve Harson, the other is Marty Toledo, Lisa Campbell, and Alma Estrada. Without these people guiding us, we'd probably be like, herding cats. But the reason why this project is so awesome is not only is it giving people, young people from the ages of 8 to 18 to do community service projects within the city of Las Vegas, it also affords people like these two young ladies up here who are senior high school students to learn how to work on a board, how to review grants, and how to be better citizens. And when you see these children do these projects, whether it's planting vegetables and fruit and giving them to people in need in the community, or putting together school books and school bags with toothpaste and soap, because there are a lot of people in need right now because, as you know, we're in an economic downturn. Whatever the project is, when you see these young people come up, And first they have to write the project, which is not always easy. And then they have to present it before our board, and half of the board are students. So, you know, presenting against your peers isn't always easy either. And then they have to make sure that the project is viable, and that's where Alma comes in because she is so great with these students. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Nicole and Gabrielle, who are our chair and vice chair of the YNAP project this year, and they will give their presentations.
Good, and thank you for all your great work. Young ladies.
Good morning, Mayor and Council members. My name is Gabrielle Newell, and I'm a junior at Canyon Springs Law and Leadership Preparatory Academy. This was my very first year serving on the YNAP board, and I was very impressed, not only with my peers serving on the board as volunteers, but also with the youth groups that are giving so much back to the community as volunteers as well. Thank you again for this amazing opportunity. This year, the YNAP Grant Review Board is recommending 23 projects for funding. 10 projects include community service, such as collecting supplies for the less fortunate and hosting community events. 5 projects, community improvement, such as restoring areas of neighborhood schools and community centers. 8, community education, such as peer mentoring and increasing youth awareness of community health and safety issues through conferences and workshops. Together, these projects will provide the city with a match of volunteer hours, donations, and labor in the amount of over $376,000. In essence, all of these projects play a vital role in building a greater and greener Las Vegas, Nevada. I would like to recognize each of these projects. YNAP groups are as followed. Back to the Basics, ABC Anti-Bullying Combat, $9,261. CSN High School National Honor Society Operation School Bell, $4,087. CSN High School Student Council Wrap It Up for School Bell, $10,566. Mirabelli SWAT Team Senior Prom for Senior Citizens, $6,668. God's Angels and Company To Show We Care, $21,920. Boy Scouts of America East Las Vegas Community Senior Center raised planting beds, $2,346. City Impact Center Youth Group Tutoring and Life Skills Program, $27,304. Fremont Family Writing Project Family Community Mural Anthology, $56,510. Lunt Elementary School Lunt Leadership in the Community, $62,800. Rafael Riviera Youth Council Campus Beautification, $17,931. Southern Nevada Hispanic Employment Program Healthy Kids, Healthy Minds, $5,570. Fostering Kids at Work Color My World, $3,649. Loomis Elementary School Little Jesters, $12,530. Symbolic Youth Networking Council Features for Teachers, $24,603. Symbolic Youth Networking Council Health Walk, $22,310. Kappa Leadership League Operation Going Green, $4,480. STARS CDC Yes Productions, $9,508. St. Joseph Student Council St. Joseph's Nights give back to their community, $12,093. The Meadows High School Varsity Cheerleaders, 100 Trees in 100 Days, $11,088. Umoha Boys Mentoring Program, Young Men's Conference 2011, Exercising Our Voices, $12,134. Youth Eternal Stay, $16,188. CIS Fellows Academy, Kids for Candlelighters, $6,680. Arborview DECA, Direct the Way, $5,905. With a grand total of $376,101. Thank you.
Good job. You did a great job. Be very proud of yourself.
morning, Mayor and council members. I'm Nicole Vigil, and I'm a senior at Arborview High School. This is my second term serving in the YNAB board, and I would like to thank you again for giving me the opportunity to be involved with an excellent program this year. Each time I've enjoyed serving together with other teams and the adult board members. It has been a really great experience. I'd like to give a big thank you to all the youth groups who presented. They did a wonderful job, and their projects were very creative and all serve an important community need. We'd also like to recognize this year's YNAB Grant Review Board members and thank them for volunteering their time to this year's grant review process. The board members are Audrey Futrick, Shawnee Pamela Toledo, Julia Monahan, Gabrielle Newell, myself, Brianna Ford, Emma Tagliaferri, and Cece Kilgore as the youth members. And the adult members were David Alexander Lopez, Elena Milano, Robin Munier, Donna Toussaint, Anthony Ruggiero, Michelle Thaxton, Idalina Iturralde, Nicole Wright, and Javon Banks.
Thank you very much.
Each one of these projects, these 23 projects, were granted $1,000, and you can see that $1,000 brought in $376,000. That's real money. It really is. Not only are we raising money and helping the communities, but we're developing future leaders. And whether they decide to be the new mayor of the city of Las Vegas or a stay-at-home mom, we're giving them an excellent experience. So on that, I would like to say thank you very much on behalf of YNAB for your continued support. And we hope to see you next year and continue to support YNAB.
All right, Councilman Ross.
You have any questions?
Yes. You bet I do. Thank
Good.
you, Mayor. Donna, how many youth are participating in this program? I mean, how many young people in this community are we touching their lives with this kind of
we're
work?
touching thousands of people.
How many youth are participating though?
Yeah, how many?
Is that all?
No, we probably have like several hundred students that are involved in these projects. I don't have the exact
And
number.
I think that's significant, Mayor and Council, because you're right, Donna. This is youth leadership training, as far as I'm concerned.
It really is.
Especially these young ladies who got up here with a great deal of courage to make their presentations. And are these students in the back
Yes,
here?
in fact, I think they
Mayor,
should all
with your
stand
permission,
up.
can they stand
Why
up?
don't you guys all stand
absolutely.
up?
Give them a round of applause. Thank you, Mayor.
I mean, this is, in my mind, one of the best things the city can do. As a little girl who grew up in Ward 3, I have to tell you, I would have loved to be involved then. So thank you very much. And thank you for your continued support.
Well, thank you, and thank you, young ladies, and thank all of the young people for really making this community a much better place. Because of your efforts, everybody who lives in the city of Las Vegas will have pride, and they'll also be able to enjoy the product of your labor. So we thank each and every one of you for your contribution. Thank you. And with that, please go back to school. Okay.
We got to have a motion.
May we have a motion, please?
Yes, Ms. Toussaint, you're a great advocate for Ward 3. Thank you. I want to thank Donna and her group that has so diligently went through these applications and made these decisions for us. And so I would like to move forward with their recommendations and thank all those that have participated in this great thing for the city of Las Vegas.
Thank you. That's the motion. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll call item number 38, a report from Steve Holloway, the Executive Vice President of the Associated General Contractors, Las Vegas, on the Building Jobs Coalition. And I guess we should wait about 30 seconds,
Sure.
Ms. Fretwell, to have the crowd filter out there. Although they are pretty quiet. Here we go.
Dave, this is not the right presentation. This is Steve's. Right. Yeah, 38. I'm just introducing the item.
Okay, I think we're in good shape.
You ready?
Yes, please.
Mayor, it's my pleasure to welcome Steve Holloway here. He's here representing the Building Jobs Coalition today. As you mentioned, he's the Executive Vice President of the AGC, the Associated General Contractors here, and has been a partner with the city on many, many things over a number of years, going through the legislature. And so as we go into this next legislative session, we thought that it would be very important for us to bring various items before the mayor and council that are kind of on point with what it is that you all have expressed us as serious concerns. One of the things that they're focusing in on are ways for us to create jobs in the state. In fact, they have a lofty goal of trying to create 100,000 jobs. And without further ado, I'd like to invite Steve up to give his presentation. So thank you, Steve, for being here today.
Thank you, Ms. Fred. Well, welcome, Mr. Holloway. Thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman and Council. For the record, my name is Steve Holloway. I am the Executive Vice President of the Associated General Contractors in Southern Nevada. As an aside, I'd like to thank you for recognizing and add my congratulations to JMA Architecture, McCarthy Building Companies, and the Southwest Contractor. They are all active members of the Associated General Contractors. Community involvement is extremely important to us, as you know. I am here today representing the Building Jobs Coalition, however. The Building Jobs Coalition includes more than 30 business and labor groups located in both southern and northern Nevada. You have been provided with a current listing of its members. The Building Jobs Coalition was formed to identify, research, vet, and then advocate a number of job creation strategies for Nevada. You have been provided a copy of the resulting report, which is entitled Creating 100,000 Nevadan Jobs. I will summarize that report for you, but first I would like to take a few minutes to tell you why it is critical that we put a significant number of our nearly 200,000 currently unemployed Nevadans back to work. During the 2009 session of the Nevada State Legislature, state and local governments were faced with a fiscal crisis. The legislature used over $350 million in state and local capital improvement money, as well as more than $600 million in one-time federal stimulus money to plug the hole in the state operating budget. They simply borrowed from Peter to pay Paul. The economy and therefore the tax base continue to spiral downward. As a result, a special session of the Nevada State Legislature was convened early in 2010. State and local governments were again faced with a fiscal crisis. The legislature again resolved the problem by borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They again used state and local capital improvement money and one-time federal stimulus money to plug the hole in the state operating budget. Consequently, state and local governments are now faced with another and even greater fiscal crisis as we enter the 2011 session of the Nevada State Legislature. We are faced with the largest general fund deficit in the nation. But unfortunately, again, the governor's proposed budget only applies a short-term fix. He, like his predecessor, proposes to utilize state and local capital improvement money, plus our educational system's capital reserve funds, to plug the current hole in the state operating budget. It would appear that our elected representatives at the state level are continuing to assume that our economy and therefore our tax base will recover shortly. I can think of no other reason for the governor and some state legislators to continue to focus on our reoccurring fiscal crises rather than address the underlying economic crisis. According to the economists with whom we have been consulting, both nationally and locally, Ken Simonson with AGC of America, Dennis Smith with the Southern Nevada Home Builders Association, and Jeremy Aguera working for the Building Jobs Coalition, we cannot expect the economy in the state of Nevada, and therefore its tax base, to recover for several more years. There are a number of reasons for this, but for our purposes here, I will simply note that while unemployment is declining in numerous other states, unemployment in Nevada continues to increase. And while foreclosures in other states may be declining, foreclosures in Nevada will continue to increase as more and more out-of-work Nevadans exhaust their unemployment benefits. Unfortunately, our new elected governor proposes to make matters worse by continuing to siphon money from capital improvement and educational programs. For example, he proposes to take over $425 million in dedicated capital improvement money from the Clark County School District and continue the diversion of 9 cents of property tax to the general fund. Using relative conservative estimates, the siphoning of the $425 million will result in the loss of another 5,000 man-years of work in the private sector. There are those who will say that the solution to our economic crisis is to diversify our economy by bringing new businesses to the state. Despite our best efforts, we will only moderately succeed in this effort unless we first stabilize our economy, stabilize our tax base, provide for needed infrastructure, and improve, not dismantle, our education system. As a result, the Building Jobs Coalition has identified, researched, and vetted, working with the majority leadership in both the Nevada State Senate and Assembly, some 26 measures which, if enacted, will help to restore our economy for both the short and long term. These measures, which are set forth in the report that I have provided you, will 1. Establish a collective economic development structure, 2. Create a Nevada business retention program, 3. Create jobs immediately where possible, 4. Invest in Nevada core infrastructure, 5. Institute a regional planning effort, and 6. Provide the means for identifying and pursuing healthcare, energy, transportation, biotech, defense, and information storage clusters or hubs throughout the state. Working with the majority leadership in both the State Senate and Assembly, Senate Majority Leader Stephen Horsford, Senator Reuben Kuhn, Speaker John Oseguera, Assemblywoman Marilyn Kirkpatrick, Assemblywoman Debbie Smith, and others, we are in the process of developing at least 3 bills that will incorporate many of the measures set forth in our report. The majority leadership in both houses has stated that jobs are their #1 priority. Contrary to recent news reports, only a few of the 26 measures set forth in our report have significant tax implications, and none of these measures create a new tax. Nevertheless, I will take a moment to address these measures with significant tax implications before I conclude my remarks. The most politically sensitive measure which we have proposed for discussion is to index the motor vehicle fuel tax statewide, directing the additional funds to local transportation infrastructure programs. If this measure were to be enacted, approximately 5,200 jobs, $305 million in wages and salaries, and $704 million in taxable economic activity would be created over just the next 3 years. This and related measures will be considered by the transportation committees. One of the most important measures with tax implications is to place a surcharge on power users for the construction of transmission lines so power can be transferred from where it is produced to where it can be marketed or where it can be used. Simply stated, the wind and solar power generating facilities that are continuously being talked about will not be built unless the power can be marketed. It cannot be marketed unless transmission lines are built to connect these facilities to the major transmission grid. If this measure were to be enacted, approximately 24,500 jobs, $1.4 billion in wages and salaries, and $3.3 billion and taxable, and I emphasize taxable, economic activity would be created. This and related measures will be considered by the Commerce and Labor Committees. A third measure with tax implications is to take the 9 cents of property taxes that were diverted to the state operating budget in 2009 and use the 9 cents to create a Nevada Job Bonds Support Fund for capital improvement projects statewide. If enacted, this measure would create approximately 11,500 jobs, $675 million in wages and salaries, and $1.6 billion in taxable economic activity. This and related measures will be considered by the Select Committee on Economic Growth and Development, which will also consider the only other of the 26 measures with significant tax implications. That measure is to simply eliminate the sunset of the 1% sales tax dedicated to water and wastewater programs in southern Nevada. If enacted, this measure would create approximately 3,100 jobs, $181 million in wages and salaries, and $437 million in taxable economic activity. As I frequently noted, there are 26 measures in this report that are being proposed for consideration. You may comment on those measures by accessing the Building Jobs Coalition website at buildingjobscoalition.com. Finally, I would like to leave you with this parting thought. Unless our economy and therefore our tax base are stabilized, state and local governments will continue to face one fiscal crisis after another. In order to stabilize our economy and therefore our tax base, we must put back to work a significant number of the nearly 200,000 currently unemployed Nevadans. On their behalf, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming down here and making that presentation. Are there any comments or questions by the council?
Yes, sir.
Councilor Ross?
Mr. Holloway, thank you very much for that. And you know how I feel about this. I'm in full support of this. And I would like to ask the mayor and council if it'd be prudent at this time to direct staff to prepare a resolution supporting this initiative as they head to Carson City for this next legislative session. I think it's imperative that we put people back to work. I think Steve, you and those who have been helping you, I see Senator Hardy out in the audience today too. Those of you that have been working on this, it's significant. On the cover sheet, you have a list of organizations that are in support of this coalition. So I think it's imperative that we as the City of Las Vegas do the same thing, stand behind you, and send that same message to Carson City.
Fine. I'll direct the city manager to have staff prepare such a resolution for our consideration and execute it in time for a meaningful presentation to be made to the legislature. You know, Mr. Holloway, the council has been committed to having our own mini stimulus program here. That's one of the reasons that we fought so hard in the face of a lot of criticism to build the new City Hall building. Fortunately, everything's worked out for us because of the Zappos move down here and their purchase of this building and the development across the street on the 12 acres. But the bottom line was we knew at the time that we were going to face whatever heat there was for entering into a capital improvement project such as a new City Hall, that notwithstanding the criticism, it was going to provide jobs for a lot of Nevadans, a lot of folks who were out of work. And as part of that development, we have a 5-block plan that will be built, which will ultimately, and this is without the folks from Zappos, which could be numbering in the $10,000 range in the next 7-10 years. We expect 14,000 jobs to be created in the downtown, and this council was stalwart in their position as far as going forward with these projects. We have the Mob Museum, of course, and we are instrumental in the building of the Performing Arts Center, which is taking place over in Symphony Park. So we're totally committed to this. And I'll tell you, from my perspective, we better do this. This isn't a game. This is our future in Nevada. If we don't change the way we're doing business and put these out-of-work people back to work and to stop the foreclosures, Nevada will never be the Nevada that I came to back in 1964, that my children returned to after they went off to college, and where my grandchildren are being raised. And anything that this council could do to support you you can count on us.
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Yes,
And
Councilor Wilson.
I thank the council. We have supported you in your efforts to bring new business into the city, and we will continue to support you in any way that we can. But again, thank you very much.
Well, you always have. Councilor Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Just as a follow-up to what Mayor Goodman was saying, a couple of things. First of all, thank you for preparing your presentation in this document that you gave us. It was very easy to follow when you made your presentation, and it just was a great presentation. Yesterday morning, I toured a project out in Ward 2. It's a new project. It's called Tivoli Village. It's on the corner of Rampart and Alta. It's a mixed-use development, a lot of retail, a lot of commercial, future residential. And I toured that project with two of the principals, Mr. Johan Lurie and Mr. Frank Pankratz. And they're going to have an opening in March. And there were 380 construction workers on site yesterday morning. It's a massive project, huge project. This project, when it's finished, just phase one, is going to create 1,000 permanent jobs. These are real people working out in our community, real jobs, creating real permanent jobs. It's very refreshing to see in your presentation what I will call real ideas. These are concrete, easy to grasp recommendations, and it's just very, very refreshing to see, and I applaud you and your efforts.
Thank you.
Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for coming down, Steve. On page 2 of the report, under findings and recommendations, it says there's top 5 strategies to support creating jobs, and the fourth bullet starts out with require local governments to provide a streamlined permitting process. And, you know, I hear from people on a regular basis, you know, if I want to get a permit or a business license, I have to go to the city and then Clark County and then Henderson and North Las Vegas, and it takes a lot of time and money to run around. And I've been talking to Betsy, our city manager. There has to be a way for local government to come up with a one-stop shop for permits and business licensing, so businesses aren't running around trying to get that. So, and I think we as a city council need to really take the lead on getting discussions with the county and other cities to form something like that. So I'm glad that's in there, and I think we need to spend a lot more time on our end to do that, to help you all out so you're not running around and spending a lot of time trying to get these documents.
There are a lot of projects not being built right now, a lot of conversions of existing facilities that are not being done because of the time and the money that it takes to get the permits and the use for that building or structure changed.
Well, based on that, and we've had this discussion with our manager and with our department heads, we vowed that we were going to make Las Vegas the easiest place, certainly in the Valley, to do business. So if you hear of anyone in particular who's having an issue as far as having their project move forward because the city may be lagging, you call Betsy Fretwell or call me or call any of the council members, and I promise you there'll be an immediate response.
Thank you, Mayor, and I will call you.
That's a promise. Okay. Thank you very much. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Before I make my motion, though, I do have a couple comments myself. You know, we keep talking about other elected officials, and as we sit here today, we're preparing to go, we have other elected officials preparing to go to the legislature and try to govern and control what we do on the city and the county level. And I got to tell you, Mayor, you know, we keep harping, but we have to have help. And we have the Democrats and Republicans. We're a nonpartisan group, as you see up here. And it's either the Democratic way or the Republican way.
Thank you.
And it's not the right way. And I would dearly love to see those elected officials up in Carson City get together, go across the hall and talk to each other and figure out what they can do to help the entities that service those people that elect them too. And we have daily wants and needs every day here locally. People wanting things or need things or seeing things that we have to do. And I got to tell you, this council has really, really tried to help. And I would really hope that on the federal and state level, they do the same thing. And with that, I want to thank you for that.
We don't need a motion, though.
We don't need a motion?
No.
Okay, sorry about that.
But you want to thank him anyhow.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, my brother. Anybody else like to be heard? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Did you want to? Councilman Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, today sitting with me is a student that I would like for her to introduce herself. And we've had a number of young people in the audience here today, and I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself as my guest today.
Hi, my name is Morgan West. I attend Odyssey Charter High School, and in the future I like to be a politician and do city council work and stuff to help with the country.
All right.
Well, welcome. We're happy to have you with us.
Thank you, Mayor.
And also, we have some folks.
Mayor?
Who are, yes.
Mayor? If you don't mind, down at this end, we also have a student here who's visiting and shadowing me for the day. He wants to be an attorney. Maybe he can introduce himself. Hit the button.
Hello, my name is Davon Watt. I attend Canyon Springs Law and Leadership Preparatory Academy, and I want to be a constitutional lawyer, so it's really nice for me to sit in and observe this. Thanks.
Okay, that's great ambition.
I would like to recall item number 45, please, for discussion.
Okay, we're going to recall item number 45. This is the Why Not matter, discussion and possible action on the Youth Neighborhood Association Partnership Program to allocate $23,000 for 23 youth-initiated projects. And one of the reasons we're doing that is to recognize some youngsters who were here. Commissioner Weekly introduced me to these young men earlier today. And did you fellas want to be heard?
Your Honor, that was made in the form of a motion. We need a vote, please.
Oh, okay, you're right. Let's vote on, bringing it back?
Yes.
All right, thanks. Let's vote, please. Post?
That never happens in Beverly, sir.
Post?
Sometime today. Anytime's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Bev.
We're going to say motion carries then. That's fine. That's unanimous. Very good. Okay, fellas?
You didn't even vote.
Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here?
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I am Brandon Thomas, the president of the Capital Leadership League, a youth organization that stresses academic achievement, community service, college and career preparation, and the respect for young women. Today, we are very honored to be here as recipients of the Why Not grant.
Thank you very much.
This grant will allow us to do excellent things in the community at the Tonopah Community Garden in Ward 5. We will construct a vendor booth at the site for future farmer markets that will distribute fresh fruits and vegetables to those that visit our garden.
We need your name, please.
Yes, please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Stephen Barber.
Thank
I
you.
attend Canyon Springs High School.
Very good. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Devontae Howard. I also attend Canyon Springs High School. And I would just like to say we would like to thank Ms. Rosalind at the Garden and the Department of Neighborhood Services and Committee for selecting our application. And Mayor Goodman, we would like to present Councilman Barlow with the token of our appreciation for all of his support.
Very good. Councilman, look at that. You got 2 awards today.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Malik
That's
Brown.
very nice.
I would like to thank you also for your 12 years of service. That's crazy.
It's all right. It's okay.
As you leave office, we are also graduating from Canyon Springs High School, so and we are proud to say you are our mayor. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yes, and what was your name, young man?
Malik Brown.
Thank you. Okay, that's terrific. Councilman, would you be kind enough to
Come on, Mayor. They want to
keep them there? Keep them there.
Let's turn around. Let's turn around real quick. Let's turn around real quick. Stand in the middle. Stand in the middle real quick. Come on. Where's the mayor?
Thank you. Where's my prize? I'll tell you, I am not sharing this with you. Thank you. Thanks for coming down.
Your Honor, I would move to approve item number 45, please.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Dismissed. Motion carries. Thank you.
And Your Honor, at this time, I would like to bring forward item number 49, please, bill number 2010-51, update certain administrative provisions of the municipal code related to the management functions and names of the city departments, sponsored by myself. We need to have that bill read if we could, please.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sherbert, could you please read the bill, number 2010-51?
Pardon my voice this morning. Bill number 2010-51, an ordinance to update certain administrative provisions of the municipal code relating to management functions and the names of city departments and to provide for other related matters.
All right, thank you. And Councilman Barlow, do you have a motion, please?
Yes, move for approval.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Did you want to be heard before the vote?
It's fine. I just want to give a presentation before the two appointments to put it all in perspective.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, the motion carries.
Great.
Okay, and before we call items 39 and 40, Ms. Pretwell will make a brief presentation.
I think you can actually maybe open both of those items so that this report actually goes with one of them.
Very good.
If that's okay, Mayor.
No problem. Item 39 is discussion and possible action regarding the ratification of Karen Coyne as the Chief Officer of Public Safety. And item 40 is discussion and possible action regarding the ratification of Candace Falder as Director of Finance.
Before I invite either of these two extremely talented ladies up to the podium, I wanted to take this opportunity to give you a quick overview of where we've been. We've been working very hard over the last 6 months or so to reorganize the city. And I wanted to just remind you some of the things that we were trying to accomplish. But I read something this morning. I got a little memento from the CEA, and one of the quotes related to this week from that memento seemed pretty fitting for today. And the quote is, "Champions keep playing until they get it right." And that's from Billie Jean King. And I feel like over the last 2 years, we've been playing until we get it right. And we may not be done, but we are champions, and we will get it right. And I think we've made significant progress in achieving the goals that the Mayor and Council have been stressing. And I think that we've done a tremendous amount, all of our employees, all of the management in this organization, to really create a much more sustainable financial condition and service delivery system for our citizens. So if you'll allow me, Mayor, I want to spend a little time talking about the reorganization and what we were trying to achieve through this process. One, after you go through a major reduction in force, it's really important for us to take a step back and figure out, is our management structure right to support that slimmed down organization, that leaner organization? And so several months ago, I established a goal to reduce our management and administration costs by about $3 million, which is the equivalent of about a 10% reduction or so. And really has a pretty significant goal in mind. We felt like we needed to really create a communities of interest focus in our organization. And what I mean by that is people on the executive team needed to be able to do what I call act up or down. They need to be able to be positioned on our management team to be able to take on more responsibility or act for someone who maybe we can no longer afford to employ or have to leave vacant for some specific amount of time in order to recover costs, whatever it may be. We needed more flexibility, adaptability in our processes, and focusing in on communities of interest really seemed to be the best way to go. We also felt like we needed to really take a step back and evaluate our management compensation and benefits plan and the structure of that. And whenever you go through major reductions in force, you really do need to evaluate whether or not you've got the right level of management in the right places in the organization. And we needed to get that to a leaner ratio. And as I've described this to our employees, it's really about getting more to a private sector business model where we have more subject matter experts driving the agendas in those communities of interest, but also culling out layers of management that are no longer necessary in the size of an organization that we are now. And I feel like we've accomplished all of these objectives in the plan that I want to go over with you today. As you can see in this chart, we've gone to this community of interest model. We've got a couple of things that are going on here. We basically will have the city manager, a deputy city manager, and then 4 chiefs. Those chiefs are basically subject matter experts in their areas that they manage. Right now, with the departure of Mr. Nichols, we will leave the development and operations chief open. We've reassigned those 4 departments to Orlando Sanchez, who will have public works and operations and maintenance. And then the 2 remaining development departments that normally would fall under that red box on the far left of the screen will be reporting to Scott Adams, our Chief of Community Services, as well as our Chief Urban Redevelopment Officer.
Betsy?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's very blurry on our screen, Betsy, so we can't read any, at least I can't read anything inside of the color, so if you don't mind going back.
Did you try the other button? Try the other button.
It's coming from the overhead.
Okay.
Oh, the other button does work.
Yes, it's clear.
Let's see.
Did it work?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
The other button works.
We had to jam a lot on one slide, so I apologize for that, but I think you kind of get the gist. We basically will have a public safety focus. We will have a development and operations focus area, a community services focus area, and an internal services area. And what this does is it really helps us create depth in your executive team, and it creates adaptability and flexibility. So it also streamlines things. You see the elimination of a lot of deputy positions in our organization, reorganizing to get the right levels of management and administration in each of the departments. There are reorganizations that have happened in every one of these purple boxes below that have, we think, will have significant impacts on the efficient service delivery in the city. One thing I think that's important to mention is that over the last close to 2 years, maybe slightly less than that, we've been working to reduce our deficit. I stood up here in front of you about 18 months ago and said, we have a $400 million 5-year structural deficit. It's not exactly anything that a manager really wants to ever have to report to their board. And over the last 18 months, we've been able to cut that deficit by over 83%, down to $66 million. And what I'm getting ready to show you in the way of savings from this reorganization will further continue to address that remaining shortfall in the city of Las Vegas. Let me just say this. In this reorganization, we've achieved significant savings. So in the implementation of this organization chart, we have included things like the compensation adjustments for Chief Coyne and for Candy Falder, other salary accommodations that we've needed to make and address as a result of this reorganization. They're all included in the savings that I'm about to share with you. The savings from this reorganization are the equivalent of keeping 70 people employed in the city of Las Vegas. 70 represented people in the city of Las Vegas. One of the things that we've already seen as a result of our reorganization is that we've been able to restore close to 10 positions. So people that were actually laid off last spring, we've been able to pull them back in where we need them in critical hires. So we've actually started a little bit of restoration in some areas. And I'll tell you, the people that have been able to do that, been able to come back and join our team again are thrilled about it, and I'm glad that we've got the opportunity to do it. And obviously, we're not perfect. We can't see everything that's going to happen. We've got a legislature unfolding. We may get new duties and responsibilities. We may have funding changes. This structure is adaptive to be able to handle those kinds of changes. But that doesn't mean that we can just put this on the shelf and be done with it. We'll continue to evaluate this, fine-tune it, and that's part of why some of the flexibility was built into the ordinance that you just adopted, so that we can make some of those changes, test it out, make sure it works, and then move forward. So I've been talking about the outcomes. With this reorganization, we will have reduced another 9% of our executive and appointive employees. A net of 25 more positions will be eliminated through this process. That equates to a 25% total reduction in executives and appointives since fiscal year 2008. That means that what we have less represents less than 10% of all the employees that the City of Las Vegas employs. That number, 10%, many of you sit on nonprofit boards, I think rivals nonprofit levels of investment in management and administration. In fact, many of those are in the 12 to 15% range, and we're well below that. I think it speaks to how lean we are getting at the top of your organization. I think it sends a real clear message that we're getting leaner, we're getting stronger. We are building a system where our employees will have greater responsibility and accountability for their own work, that we will have alignment, that we won't have as much management pass-through, as many levels as we once had. Now, what do the savings look like in this reorganization? Right out of the chute, just the elimination of those 25 positions, as well as the restructuring of our benefit and compensation plan, saves us $4.1 million. So what does that mean for next year? It basically means that we're going to roll forward all the savings that we've been accumulating annually, which is a little over $3 million, in this group alone, just these 250 employees. We will be saving $7.2 million in fiscal year 12 budget from this group. I've talked about this before. Management and administrative appointive employees have been basically held flat. We've been reducing employment in these categories since 2008. That has helped us avoid costs of $10.5 million over those 3 years, not insubstantial savings. Some of the things that we've done to make that happen: we eliminated longevity for new hires almost a decade ago, for instance. We eliminated or stopped, for the time being, merit and bonuses for the executives and the appointives for several years now. We're creating a new compensation structure for management that will be pay-for-performance based, which we've talked with all of you about. And we're reducing the sick and annual leave caps that people can carry forward. And that reduces a lot of liability for the City of Las Vegas. In fact, just by making those changes, we're going to be reducing $5.2 million in future liability to the city for payouts at the end of a person's career. You add those things together, you add that annual savings, that $7.2 million number that's on there, to the $36 million that we've been able to accumulate through agreements with all of our represented employees. We're making about a almost a $45 million impact. $44 million annually. And you might say, well, you know, Betsy, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you. It means that from fiscal year 08 to fiscal year 11, the one we're in now, the one that closes in July, we have cut our average compensation by 13% in this organization. Substantial. And it wasn't easy, and everybody gave, and they gave in their own way, and it was hard getting there. But I truly believe that we've created a new structure a structure for a new economy, one that supports your priorities and delivers services to our community. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. So that's my overview of the reorg, the impacts, the savings, what our employees have done to address our structural shortfall, and I'm real proud of every one of them here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Fretwell. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Betsy, I think we need to also put on record today that this new bill also allows you to make necessary changes as we go forward in the next couple of years with the approval of the council.
Absolutely. It gives us a little pilot period, if you will, to test things out to make sure they'll work. Then we're not having to change an ordinance every 2 weeks or something like that, which is difficult for the organization. But then the council will actually ratify those changes. So I think it's a pretty good balanced structure.
And I want to thank you for your hard, diligent work that you have done trying to get to where we're at today. And I think we're going to be able to see some of the benefits in the future.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Councilman Wilson, then Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Thank you. Betsy, I'm going to echo what Mayor Pro Tem Reese said about thanking you and your management staff, because I know you folks spend hours and hours and hours behind closed doors, night times and weekends, thinking this through very carefully. So first and foremost, thank you and your team for the great work. We call it a reorganization. I think we could also call it in part a consolidation, because that's what we're doing as well. By reorganizing, we're consolidating, to use some of your words, leaner, more efficient government. And consolidation seems to be kind of the buzzword. Consolidation is something that people are talking about. Well, it's nothing new. Consolidation is always something that we should be thinking about, but I think since we entered into this recession, it seems to be much more topical. But consolidation doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be more efficient and more service delivery. And I want to make sure that by reorganizing in the way we are, that we maintain or increase the quality of service that we provide to our constituents. I know that's very important to you. I trust that this reorganization is accomplishing that, because that's what we do. We deliver services. So just to consolidate and reorganize because it's leaner doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. So do you feel comfortable that through this reorganization that we're going to be supplying no less and probably more or better quality of service to our constituents?
Obviously, that's a goal. I will tell you, there are some, because we've had to go through such massive cuts, we've made over $100 million worth of cuts in the last 2 years out of our budget. There are areas where our services are struggling. I can't sugarcoat it for you. I do think that with this reorganization, restructuring, that we will get some of the benefits of consolidation, meaning you get economies of scale, you reduce any remnant duplication, and you're able to really take limited resources and deploy them in the most efficient manner. Absolutely. I do think it will also prepare us as the economy starts to come back for us to be ready to know exactly where restoration should go first to get those service levels back up. But, we've paid quite a bit of attention to sustaining our public safety services. And we've been able to do that. Some of the other areas of the organization, we're struggling. If you look at leisure services, they're struggling. And other parts of our organization that are a little bit put together with a little bit of masking tape and baling wire. I mean, it really is a little tough in some areas. But we're just going to have to muscle through for a little while longer until our revenues recover. I mean, one of the things that many people don't necessarily appreciate or understand yet is that the revenue levels that we're likely to see in this next budget, the fiscal year 12 budget, the budget that we're preparing now for your consideration, will be back down to 2005 levels. A lot of things have happened in this community since 2005. Not only did we have enormous population growth, we were growing with them. So we added streets, we added sewer pipes, we added sidewalks, we added new standards, we added parks, almost 1,000 acres of parks in that period of time, community centers, fire stations, police substations. Those don't all go away because the money went away. And those are those levels of service that you're talking about, Councilman. We're doing our very best to keep those open and operational, maintained, and useful to our citizens. Now, it may not be the exact same service level that we once came to enjoy, but we think the services are sufficient to get us through a very difficult time. And as I've tried to describe to our employees, to me, this has been a pruning exercise. We haven't tried to go in and just cut things out completely, although we have eliminated some things. In those areas where we know the community expects those services, we're trying to prune there so that when we do grow back, we're growing in the right areas and in the right direction versus from scratch, replanting, for instance. We're trying to avoid that. So when you prune back, there are areas that are going to be really, really thin for a while, and that's what we've been doing.
Second thing, if you don't mind, I want to ask you about is when I joined the council about 7 years ago, I think we had over 3,000 employees, City of Las Vegas employees, 3,200, 3,300,
Right.
whatever the number is. Today, how many employees does the City of Las Vegas have?
We're down around 2,600.
Okay, so in the last 6 or 7 years, we've lost 600 employees or so.
You've lost 600 employees in about the last 2 years.
The last 2 years. Okay. Of the 2,600 employees, would it be fair to say that almost all of the employees, at the very least, have had their wage and benefit package frozen, and many of them have taken cuts?
Yes.
And that's fantastic. That's a great sacrifice that we've made as an organization as a whole through this process. And I think that we are the leading local government entity in Southern Nevada to be able to say what we've accomplished through the reorganization efforts and through the efforts of our bargaining units, our employees that are represented by unions, and then the few hundred or so of our employees that aren't represented. Look at the sacrifices that we've all made to make this a better organization, and I feel very comfortable with saying that.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Tarkanian.
I was just going to say, certainly it shows a lot of money has been saved, and I think you're saying that now we'll take the time and really look at things to see if we need to move in a different direction or, tweak here or tweak there. I think that's important, too, because as you mentioned, the services aren't the same. And we have to say that. We've cut the money, but we can't give the same amount of services because we don't have the personnel to give it. So it does take more time to get some of the things done. And I believe that the residents are showing a patience now and a greater understanding of the situation we're facing. Maybe at first it wasn't so obvious that the money is just not there. I think they're showing more of that, and I wanted to echo Councilman Wolfson's statement about how great it's been, and you said it also, that everybody's worked together. Once it became a realization where we were, everyone's worked together. And I think that's very important. The thing is that as we go along and we take our time and we see that, I say we take our time, we certainly haven't taken our time in this, but what I mean is what you said was, now we've got this, and we're going to go in this direction, but we're going to look very carefully and see if maybe we have to tweak it a little this way or a little that way to be able to be more efficient and to be able to be as fair as possible to all the workers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mayor Goodman?
Councilman Barlow.
Thank you. Betsy, I really appreciate the presentation that you provided, not only before the council, but to all of the viewers, because this really lays out what we've been talking about for the last 2 years now, specifically as we saw the budgets, the city's budgets, as well as the state, as well as the national budget deficits continue to diminish. The restructuring of our city is very similar to what a lot of families, not only here locally but nationwide, had to do in order to reposition themselves and their footing in order to stay afloat. With the collaboration of working with the bargaining units, working with this council, your city, your way, the meetings that you've went around to in all of the wards and received the feedback from the community as a whole, I believe this is open government, transparency, and what this process is all about, making sure that we get everyone to be included in the process of how, in fact, we need to reorg and tighten our belts, as you put it, on so many different occasions. And so I continue to look forward to you doing that and keeping the ball moving as our city manager who handles the day-to-day operations of this great city in order that we continue to communicate back and forth with the state as well as the local municipalities and their government entities as well as the community, so that we can continue to make the city a better place for tomorrow. Because what we decide on and the seeds that we plant today, someone else, another council, will be carrying out those aims and those missions as the fruit of those seeds start to develop. So thank you so very much for your leadership.
Thank you. I think one thing's important to add to that, if you don't mind, Councilman, is that we've made a very diligent effort to inform our employees all along about this. I mean, just this reorganization plan that I rolled out for you, we had at least 45 city employee meetings in every department, and I went to them. They didn't come to me to share this, where we were financially. It's important for not only for our citizens and all of you to be involved, but it's important for our employees to know what's going on, to know how all the pieces fit together, know our financial situation. And so we've been trying to be ultra inclusive from our employees to the citizens, and we'll continue to do that.
Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. This reorganization is absolutely necessary, and the cuts are necessary, and I have to commend you, Betsy, for getting in front of the curve on this and staying on top of it. But Councilman Wolfson asked the most important question: are these cuts and reorganizations going to affect services? And I'll tell you, I don't see it. I ran into somebody last night that said they called my office about a problem, and the next day somebody was out there fixing it. So I walk my dogs in the parks around my house, and they look great. So tell you, the city employees are sucking it up, and they're doing a great job, and they're taking care of business. So I have not seen services impacted whatsoever by this. So I commend you for doing that.
They're doing their level best every day. I assure you of that.
Thank you. What was the quote you started with?
Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King.
Well, I got a better one, okay?
All right.
Vince Lombardi. When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
That's a good one, too.
Okay, that takes the place of Billie Jean King. I'm
nice.
the mayor.
You get it. You get to do that, Mayor. Whichever quote you want me to use, I'm good with that.
Okay.
But I do think we're champions.
I forgot.
If you're ready, maybe I could ask Chief Coyne to join me up here, and we could go to item 39.
Very good.
Karen Coyne has been a 19-year dedicated public servant with the City of Las Vegas. She's served a variety of different roles in the Department of Detention and Enforcement. She's moved through the ranks. She started in corrections as a corrections officer, went to deputy marshal, got promoted to lieutenant, got promoted to deputy chief, and then chief about 5 or 6 years ago now. And Karen has done a fantastic job. Not only has she done that D&E level of work, she also was on our lobbying team for a year and went up there and got the introduction to the legislative process and did a great job representing us there. Karen is uniquely qualified for this position, in my opinion. She has all of her certifications from the Nevada State Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission, everything from Category 1 basic, intermediate, advanced, management, and executive training. certificate. So she's got great certifications to support her in this new role. She is a graduate of the FBI National Academy, the Southwest Command College, and holds an associate's degree in criminal justice from CSN, a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Phoenix, and a master's in public administration from UNLV. She serves as a director on the Nevada Sheriffs and Chiefs Association. She was appointed by former Governor Gibbons to serve as a commissioner on the Nevada Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, is the past president of ASPA, one of our local public administration groups, and she actively serves on a bunch of other boards and professional associations. The bottom line is I'm really proud to recommend Karen, Chief Coyne, for this new position in the city manager's executive team. She's a welcome addition. She brings public safety expertise that we don't currently have in that team, and I believe she will provide excellent insight and leadership for the city of Las Vegas. So I respectfully request the council's ratification of Chief Coyne to this appointment.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Yes.
Bessie didn't say anything at all about her better half. I mean, her husband is the guy behind this. I mean, this guy is.
Danny, I don't know if you want to defend yourself on that, but.
Anyhow, can I still call you Chief?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in lieu of that question, it was interesting. Yesterday, I spoke to one of your officers, and we thought we were going to have a pinning ceremony today, and that's what he had expected. I spoke to Ms. Fretwell, and she said, no, it doesn't involve that because of the position that you're sending to. And what he said was interesting. I said, are you going to miss her? And he said, yeah, I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her uniform and her presence. And I hope that you, just because you're coming over to this side, that you stay in touch with the men and women of your department because they have a great deal of respect and admiration for you. Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I move to follow Betsy's recommendation. I think the chief has really done a fantastic job representing the city of Las Vegas in every position she's held since I've been here for 16 years. And I'm sick of the death to be able to make the motion, Chief.
Okay, there's a motion. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you in the new position.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. May I take a few moments and say something? What an incredible opportunity I step into today, and I appreciate your support today and the support and confidence that you have all had in me and my staff over the many years that we have served together. Without it, we certainly couldn't be successful. Betsy, your words today are very kind and much appreciated, and I have so enjoyed watching you, studying you, in fact, over the last 10 years that we've worked together, and know that you have been an incredibly positive influence in shaping my professional career, and I will just be eternally grateful to you for that. You know, I was just a 22-year-old kid when I came to work here 19 years ago, and I realized that in that amount of time, I've had more opportunity in this organization in that relatively short period of time than many people have had in their entire lives. And that did not happen by chance. It happened, I think, because I was fortunate enough to sign on with an organization early on that offers great opportunity to their employees. An organization that, excuse me, an organization that encourages their employees to step outside their comfort zone and grow and develop through training, education, and experience. An organization that cultivates and nourishes an environment of leadership, a culture of leadership, if you will, and an organization that recognizes and rewards professional excellence. That is our city of Las Vegas. And so, today, I lay at your feet and the feet of our city manager and this senior executive team and my fellow directors who have been great to work with and wonderful to learn from, as well as many people within and outside the walls of the city of Las Vegas, and of course my family, because without the support of all of you, I certainly would not be standing here today. And speaking of the family piece, first, my D&E family, many of whom are here today, which I appreciate, and there are also many who couldn't be here because they're out running the shop. It has been an incredible honor and a privilege, in fact, a humbling privilege at that, to work with such a talented and professional group of individuals who, by the way, believed in me all these years and embraced my vision, and they execute our mission every single day. And I love you guys. And then, of course, my darling husband, Danny Thompson, who's here to support me today, as well as some of his extended work family who have been very important to us to cover things on the home front sometimes so that we could serve. My boys, Garrett and Connor, who couldn't be here today because they are in school, unlike a bunch of other kids who are on field trips today. And my parents, who are really the foundation of my success. Family's an important piece, and I am grateful to all of them. And finally, as I look ahead, I am not naive to the many challenges that we face. And there will be tough decisions to make as we navigate down this path of inevitable change. But with change comes opportunity. And I just want you to know I'm up for all of it. So thank you very much for your support.
Great, thank you.
I'm dominating the agenda, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Item number 40 is to make an appointment to the Director of Finance position. I'd like to ask Candace Falder to join me up at the podium.
Yeah.
Poor Candy, I was bugging her for numbers this morning at 7 o'clock. No rest for the weary, that's for sure.
I don't know. I'm a little worried about her, to be quite honest with you, Ms. Rebel. I don't think she could get the numbers right.
Oh.
Do we have to call 13 back?
Yes, sir.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
It was wrong in the stupid agenda. It was wrong in your stupid presentation. And then after we're going to appoint you to an important position as the Director of Finance, it will probably be wrong again.
No, it will not.
Okay.
Let me tell you why it won't be wrong. Candy has more than 30 years experience in public accounting and internal auditing. She's a graduate of UNLV, where she received her accounting degree, and shortly thereafter she became a certified public accountant. Candy has performed internal audits as well as other business accounting throughout her career. Early in her career, she worked for prominent Southern Nevada companies such as EG&G and Bechtel. Candy joined the city in 1998. She's risen through the ranks in the Finance and Business Services Department, going from the manager of budget and finance to the deputy director. She's been serving under Mark's leadership since 2005 in that position. And it makes complete sense to me to move her into the director of finance position now that Mark has taken over the chief financial officer role in the city of Las Vegas. As you all know, these last few years have really put all of our finance staff to the test, but particularly Candy. She's brought leadership, balance, experience, attention to detail, the way no one else could have. And I truly appreciate it, and it did not go unnoticed, and is a big part of why I'm bringing her forward for ratification today. Besides being a key kind of clutch player, if you will, in all of our budget management strategies over the last couple of years, Candy is a proven executive, and I think she's just a top-flight professional, and I'm glad to have her on our team. On a personal note, Candy just lost her father, who she was very close to. But you know what? This is an important position, an important promotion, and she's here today to make this happen, to get us back on the right track and get these things done so we can implement what we've been talking about all morning. I'm proud to recommend her as a director of finance today to you. There's no one more suited for this role, in my opinion. She knows the finances of this organization inside and out, and she's one of our true assets. And I don't mean that in a pun sort of way. She is a true asset for us. I respectfully request your ratification of her appointment this morning.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes. I have sat in many meetings with Candy. She's always been prepared. She's always been able to answer the questions. If she couldn't, she would always call me and let me know what the answers were. I've always appreciated that, Ken. You're an asset to this organization, as Betsy enumerated. So, with that, Your Honor, I would like to follow Betsy's recommendation and recommend that we do support her and Candy for this position.
All right, thank you. Councilman Wilson.
Mayor Goodman, thank you. Candace, you've got some pretty big shoes to fill in Mark Vincent. Well, or maybe not. No, seriously. I lost both my parents 7 years ago, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of them, so my prayers are with you. You have such a nice, calming manner about you, and it's pleasant, and you've always been professional in every briefing. You kind of sit in the back, but then chime up when called upon, so I'm really looking forward to you playing a more active role, especially in the next couple of years when finance is so important. So congratulations, and you have my full support.
Right, and I'll call for the vote with our condolences, of course. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a couple of words. I want to thank you very much for your vote of confidence. I'm really looking forward to this challenge, especially the opportunity to stay with the great finance team we have here at the city. And I want to thank Mark for always having trust in me, and Betsy, my husband who supports me, that's here with me, and especially my father. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't leave so fast. I'm not going to let you leave. We have to call item 13.
Oh, God. Why don't you give her a minute? Why don't you give her a minute?
No, she's what Coach Lombardi was talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me read it into the record. We're going to have to move to recall it. This is approval of service and material checks, payroll checks, wire transfers, other checks, and investments.
You shouldn't be making fun of her. She's going to give you more money.
I know.
I make a motion to bring this item forward to reconsider, please.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Fuller.
Good morning. We incorrectly brought you the second half of January to approve this morning when really we wanted to report the first half of January, January 1st through January 15th. Summary of cash expenditures totals $74,060,268.71.
Can we count on that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Can we have a motion, please?
I would so move, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to 41, discussion and possible action regarding a real property purchase and sale agreement between ARPM Realty, Inc. and the City of Las Vegas for the purchase of approximately 4.08 acres of land located at 2400 North Tenaya Way within the Las Vegas Technology Center. This is in Ward 1, and this item is related to Council Item Number 46, R2, 2011. Mr. Jervik, should I call that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. I'll read Item 46 into the record. '46 is R2, 2011, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution finding the real property purchase and sale agreement between the City of Las Vegas and ARPM Realty, Inc. concerning the proposed sale of 2400 North Tenaya Way, located within the Las Vegas Technology Center, Las Vegas, Nevada, is in the best interest of the public. Ward 1, of course, and as I said, it's related to item number 41. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Office of Business Development. This item before you is a purchase and sale agreement for the property at the northeastern corner of Smoke Ranch in Tenaya. It is with the company by the name of ARPM Realty. It is run by Susan Ackerman and Sasha Ackerman, and they are here with us today, and I invite them to join me up at the podium. ARPM Realty purchased this property, the buildings and the improvements, from Lockheed Federal Credit Union, which fortunately the prior owner of the building went into foreclosure. And there's an old adage in the real estate community, sometimes things the second time around are better, and we think that's going to be the case with our new owner of the building. They bought the building, and we approved a consent of assignment of ground lease back in May of last year, and we've worked with the Ackermans to see if we could sell the property to them, the underlying land, which would give them more flexibility moving forward, more control of managing the property. And Julie Quisenberry of my staff worked on a purchase and sale agreement, and we reached agreement for terms for the sale, where escrow is due to close February of 2011. There's a 5% earnest deposit towards a purchase price of $1,025,000. Unlike a lot of the transactions that we bring forward to you, which involve large incentives, this is more of a market rate transaction. And I'd like to thank Susan Ackerman for seeing the investment potential of this property and investing in the city of Las Vegas. We recommend approval. With that, I'd like to invite Ms. Ackerman to speak and also encourage her to put in a plug for the property, which we think is a great property in the city and has great investment potential, not only investment potential, but potential for end users as well. Ms. Ackerman?
Ms. Ackerman?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Councilwoman Tarkanian. I'd like to thank you for all your support and help you've given us in the past and hopefully in the future. This project is really run by my son, Sasha Ackerman, standing here next to me, and he'd like to show you some pictures of what we've done with this property so far.
We'd like to see them.
Good morning, Mayor, and thank you again, Councilwoman Tarkanian, for giving us the opportunity to be here today. I'd like to just show you a few pictures of what we've done so far. This is our property located off 2400 North Teneo Way. As you can see, the landscaping we have redone as well as painting. We have inserted a new granite label showing our company, Ackerman Realty. We've also repaved the entire parking lot, both front and back, which we should have a warranty for about 5 years on that. Won't have to spend that kind of money again for a while. As you can see, here's more pictures of the parking lot. Some of our main goals with this property is to encourage medical users as well as possibly anything having to do with any kind of schooling system. As not only was it Ford Aerospace, it was also Westwood Productions, which was a video game engineering company. It has Cat5 cables that run throughout, and really the facility definitely fits for any kind of educational business. As well as any medical or anything like that, like I said, as far as technology goes, we've got every kind of wiring you can possibly imagine in the building and could really use any kind of tenants. Also, we are one of the lowest rates currently in the 89128 zip code at approximately $1 a square foot. The reason for this is not only to attract businesses, but also to help some of the smaller business in creating some jobs in that district. Hopefully giving them a low overhead will give us the opportunity to help the community out and get some more smaller businesses, rejuvenating that area. As you can see here, there's also a basketball hoop in case you'd ever like to come and try it out with us.
Well, that is in Ward 1, and that's the Tarkanian hoop.
That's correct. We also have a courtyard as well. We had to take out about 29 dead trees, but we spent a lot in redoing all the landscaping as well as the roofing. We have got a warranty for 15 years on the roof. It is Energy Star certified. As well as, like I said prior, we have the 5-year warranty on the paving project as well. In addition to that, we've also done some interior improvements. There is a restaurant area that, of course, for the mayor, we're trying to get our liquor license there as well for you, just
Very
to be
good.
sure.
It's very important.
Very important. In total, we've spent about $500,000 in improvements alone, and that does not include any of the purchase price or the EMD for the purchase of the land either. So we really have put our whole hearts and wallets into this project and really feel that any help the city can give us and leasing out this property would be greatly appreciated. And again, greatly appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak here today about our building and have the utmost faith in getting it going.
Well, we're really proud that you put that kind of investment. It's a beautiful building, and we wish you nothing but success there.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
It really is. It's beautiful. Certainly, Councilor.
Thank you. I drive by this building frequently and have for quite some time, and have been watching what you guys have been doing. And it's nice to finally see the faces that are associated with that facility. I have to ask you this, because it's such a flexible facility. It can do all sorts of things. I'm glad you said that on the record today, because I want people to hear that. Have you had any conversations with Summer Hollingsworth over at the Nevada Development Authority in regards to what you have available to any company that may want to come into town and use this facility for whatever purpose?
No,
I would strongly suggest that.
What was the name of that again?
Summer Hollingsworth, the Nevada Development Authority. An organization that works to bring new businesses and industry into Southern Nevada. And Councilwoman, I'd love to see a fabulous company in that location, because I think it's a great location. And Councilwoman, you got the high school kind of almost across the street right there. Perhaps there could even be some kind of agreement between the two, such as you did with Fire Station 6 and the Bonanza and the College of Southern Nevada. But I think it's a golden opportunity. You guys have done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good. Councilwoman.
We're very, very pleased that the Ackerman family is going to be part of that area. And, you know, the reputation, all the positive things you've already done in the community make us greatly respect you, and just so very pleased you're there. I go by quite often also, and I've been watching the changes. The previous owner, unfortunately, had let a lot deteriorate, had let many plants die, and you really have done a great job there. I was going to mention about the Nevada Development Authority also, so I'm glad Councilman Ross did. We all have to be helping each other and giving each other ideas and contacts, and we'll do all we can to help. So with honor, I now say I move to approve.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
That's on item 41. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. And item 46, please.
Thank you.
Again, I move to approve.
Very good. Let's vote on that. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck, folks. Item 42 is discussion and possible action regarding an exclusive negotiating agreement between the City of Las Vegas and the Nevada Health Centers, Inc. for the development of a medical office building on approximately 2.42 acres in Enterprise Park, located at 1888 Stella Lake Street in Ward 5. Mr. Art.
Thank you. This is for an exclusive negotiation agreement, or ENA, which is really the first step in a two-step process that we have to convey real estate to some of our partners, and we're looking to do this with Nevada Health Centers, Inc. Nevada Health Centers, Inc. approached us with an opportunity. They have a funding award from the Recovery Act, and they're looking to spend those dollars for new facilities both in northern Nevada and southern Nevada, and they were looking for a new southern Nevada location, and they chose what we think is one of the finest locations in the city in Ward 5 in the Las Vegas Enterprise Park. Nevada Health Centers is proposing to build a 25,000 to 30,000 square foot facility. The facility will be a medical facility as well as house administrative staff space for Nevada Health Centers. It will include medical professionals from throughout the valley for a variety of services, including obstetrics and pediatrics. There will be a significant number of employees that will be located at this facility. 73 employees will be relocating from other facilities. And perhaps even more important in this economy, there will be 8 new full-time jobs at the facility with an estimated annual payroll of $700,000. The terms for the sale of the land, again, this is the first step in a two-step process. We will come back with a development agreement with the final sale terms and a schedule, but we have negotiated price. The sale terms are a sale price of $348,480 for the property, which is just under 2.5 acres. That equates to a per foot price of roughly $3.31 per square foot. However, included in the site, Nevada Health Centers has worked with us to provide additional parking above and beyond what they need for their facility to accommodate the needs of one of our other partners, Foundation for an Independent Tomorrow. Foundation for an Independent Tomorrow, or FIT, is located on the opposite side of Stella Lake Street, and was in need of additional parking for employees due to their planned expansion. FIT has received an EDA grant, and Nevada Health Centers, Inc. is working very closely with FIT to provide some surface parking in the amount of 28 spaces to enable that expansion as well. So really with this project, we're really getting two projects in one. The schedule for the project, they're on a very tight timeline because of the recovery dollars, and they're looking to actually break ground this spring and actually complete construction of the facility by year-end 2011. With us this morning is the Chief Executive Officer of Nevada Health Centers, Inc., Mr. Thomas Chase. I'd like to invite him up to the dais and to say a few words about the facility and maybe talk about, in a little bit of detail, the schedule, the health care benefits for the community, which I think are significant, as well as what jobs this will create for area residents. Tom?
Thank you, Bill. As Bill indicated, we had the opportunity to approach the city back in the late summer. I had a chance to meet with the mayor and Councilman Barlow and explain our challenge and the opportunity, and we were thrilled that this particular location was made available to us. It's located about 2 blocks at the most from our current Martin Luther King location, and it caused us to actually stand back and rethink the entire project. Our original plan was to take our OB location at Shadow Lane in Alta and move it, as well as our administrative space. So we would have had an OB clinic and our headquarters here in Las Vegas. With its proximity to Martin Luther King, it offered us another opportunity to actually think through developing the second center where we could do pediatrics, family practice, and OB all in one location. That's worked out tremendously successfully over on, excuse me, on Eastern, and we're going to be doing that at this particular location. There's a reason that we're called community health centers. We're able to bring communities together and provide the services in one location. There's another reason we're called community health centers, and that's because communities like Las Vegas are willing to participate with us and partner with us. So we took that approach, and we took seriously the needs of the rest of the community in terms of the parking for FIT, and we're pleased to be able to partner with them. I'll answer questions about the facility.
I know that Councilor Barlow showed me some
renderings.
Do you have those with you by any chance?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
This view is a view from the east, the colored view on the bottom, and the view on the top is a view from the north. The east location will be the main entrance. The parking lot will be further east of that view, predominantly. We'll also have parking on the south side. The north side is the side that will be exposed to Stella Lake Drive. One of the things that we one of the orders I guess I gave to the architects was I don't want it to look like the back of Safeway, and we think it worked out very well that way.
The other thing I'd add is, as Tom was indicating, is because the architect worked with us and they're putting the building on the corner of Mount Moriah Drive and Stella Lake Street, all sides of the building are going to be visible to the community. And so what we're getting with the building is what I call four-sided architecture. So you really won't see, as Tom was indicating with the Safeway analogy, you're not going to see a back of house. It's going to be a great-looking building, and I think even more important are the services that Tom indicated that are going to be provided for the community.
Terrific. Councilman Barlow.
Yes, Mayor. And Tom, thank you so very much. When the mayor invited me into his office on, it was, I guess, possibly the third or the fourth quarter of last year, in regards to you looking for a location, I was pleased to direct you to the Enterprise Park because of the vision that I have for not only this area but throughout Ward 5. When I took office, just to give you a little bit of a backdrop, there was a number of vacant parcels throughout the ward, and I looked at it as a blank canvas of opportunity. to bring in great developments, great services, and programs that this community was lacking. And most definitely in the healthcare area, your component coming into this community is a great asset. It's a welcome asset. And not only that, the number of jobs in which you will be bringing forward. Bill, one thing you didn't mention was the construction side of the jobs. How many construction jobs will this 30,000 square foot facility will it provide?
Thank you, Councilman. I did neglect to include that in my remarks. We're estimating from the general contractor that 39 full-time construction jobs will be created. Because they're federal funds, these will be very well-paying construction jobs. They'll be paid at the federal prevailing wage rates, otherwise known as Davis-Bacon wages.
Davis-Bacon wages,
so
correct.
There'll be great paying jobs as well. And again, we're looking to have it start construction this spring. So those anyone interested in the community that is interested in those construction jobs should either see me in my office or see Tom, and we can certainly connect them to those opportunities.
And I appreciate that. And Tom, as I suggested you do on yesterday, was travel down Martin Luther King, and the beautiful landscape and the roadway that was fully improved, has made this community very vibrant with the hard work and a lot of construction that went in to recreate this street. It turned out very beautifully. And your building, if we can go back to the overhead, Bill, I want the community to see this because this is very important. This is the level of development that we're bringing down the Martin Luther King corridor, just as we done with the Metropolitan Police Department, their headquarters at Alta and Martin Luther King. Mr. Ahern, with his development, that should be coming in as well. The beautiful building that you have brought forward, and we haven't spoke about, but we will speak about the fire station that will be breaking ground just to the south of your building. I mean, all of these developments that are coming in are really to build and bring in the goods and services that this community is in dire need of. And so for that, I thank you for not leaving the community, but continuing to remain in the community and expand for the betterment of all the residents. So with that, if any of the mayor or council members have any comments prior to my motion, I would like to turn the rest of the time over to my colleagues.
Right. I think we're very excited about it.
Okay. Then I'm glad for your excitement because I'm excited as well, and we're looking forward to, you had mentioned a job fair when we spoke on yesterday. I look forward to following back up with you, and I understand the Office of Business Development staff, Darren, will be leading the charge on that and rolling out a job fair for those members of the community who are in need of employment. So that will be forthcoming. So I thank you for extending that and working with my office diligently in order to create a beautiful building to bring economic development into this area, the Enterprise Park. So with that being said, I would like to move to follow staff's recommendation for approval subject to all conditions.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote on it, please. Opposed? Motion carries, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, 43 is discussion and possible action regarding a temporary tavern license for Palvis Enterprises, Inc., doing business as Fang's Garden China Mex at 2021 East Charleston Boulevard. And this is in Ward 3. Mr. DiFiore.
Mayor, members of the council, you should have in your backup an investigative report submitted by the Metropolitan Police Department. Today, behind me, I have Sergeant Christine Payson from Special Investigations and Detective Todd Humphrey, who did the report. As you can see in the report, there are some concerns that were provided regarding the financing and the investment of this particular business. The Fang's Chinese Garden has been on a temporary license approved by the City Council since August of 2011, and it's due for an extension or addressing the permanent license today before that temporary expires. If you have any questions regarding the Metropolitan Police Department report, the sergeant or the detective are here to answer that. Otherwise, if you would like to address the Mejias, I'll be able to provide a recommendation following the discussion on that.
Okay, have you seen the report, folks?
No, I haven't seen it.
Sorry, I asked the question.
I'll correct that. They have.
Right.
They had a copy of the report, and we went over the report in December and addressed the concerns and the issues that the detective provided.
All right. Is that correct?
I believe we got it, but I don't remember right now.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you put that on the record, officer?
Yes. Detective Humphrey, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Special Investigations Section. They actually came to our office at 6830 Bermuda, and I gave them the redacted report.
Okay. Do you folks want to say anything to us today?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
please. State your name, please.
Okay, my name is Hermes Mejia. She is Mercy Mejia. Okay, I used to have another, another bar in Fremont. And due to the economy, I lost it. Business went down, so I lost the business didn't make it, so I lost it. So I ended up with that license. So it came out that this Chinese restaurant came to, it came out for Liz. So she decided to open a business. So she bought it. She just bought she got into a lease with the owner of that property. Well, I have the license. It was hanging because I closed the business, so I gave it to her. And also the some improvement that we did in the property, like the floor, we fixed the floor, and the liquor that I had from the other bar, I didn't throw it out. I just save it and I give it to her. When she filled the application and everything, well, it came out like I help her, in the business, which is true, I help her. And then they want to investigate me. So I'm just trying to, I spoke to Mr. DeFiore, well, he told me, and I put everything together. I'm working on filling the application and everything, but I got a couple of years of taxes that I'm working on because, I lost my house and I lost a bunch of stuff. So I just trying to put everything on the taxes, so, to not do bankruptcy. So that's what I'm working, I just need a little more time to finish that application, and that's it. It's not like we're hiding nothing. We're not criminals. We're just trying to make it selling food and liquor there. That's it.
Your Honor, if I could, I'd like to have Metro explain to us some of the issues they found.
Yes, sir. Some of the issues that were found is that basically Mr. Mejia provided all the financing for this business. And when I questioned him about why he decided to get rid of his old business, which is basically the next street over on Fremont, this new business is on Charleston, he got very agitated with me when I kept pressing him for answers and so forth. In the application that Ms. Mejia filled out, she basically said that all the financing was provided through her. Well, the documentation that I requested and that they provided did not show that. And it actually looks like that they may have, in other words, forged the personal financial questionnaire because the financing was actually provided by Mr. Mejia. And that's the main concern.
That hasn't been cleared up at all, then?
Say again, sir?
That hasn't been cleared up at all since we gave them the original license. We still have the same issues that we had.
Same issues. I don't know where the financing is coming for the business. And when I requested him to come forward as the lender or owner, he refused and said that he would leave country if I did that.
He said he what?
He refused and said that he would leave the country if I did that.
Well, can I say something?
When I get through with this gentleman here. Sure. Okay. Mr. DeFiore, how long have they been in business right now?
They had the second temporary license. The first administrative temporary license was issued administratively, I believe, in May of 2010. So they've been in operation since that time. Council granted an extension of the temporary while the investigation was ongoing, August 4th of 2010. So it's been about 9 months now.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move to allow them to stay. We haven't had any problems over there.
We've had minimal calls for service. They do have entertainment, and it's been held to a level that there hasn't been a concern about the entertainment that's been provided.
Okay. I would ask that we hold this, we allow them to continue doing for 3 more months, but in 3 more months, if this isn't cleared up, we're going to have a show cause hearing why we should allow this business to stay open.
Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna have 3 more months, right?
Right, but you better get the paperwork
I gotta
in,
get it done.
and it
Yeah.
better be satisfactory, or else kaput.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna get it done.
It's not a public hearing.
Mayor,
All
before
right,
the vote, may I ask
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. DiFiore, have there been 1 or 2 temporary licenses granted in this case?
This is the end of the first temporary license approved by council. So we have an extension that's good for another 6 months.
Good. So this would be a motion to
This is for
extend the second temporary.
This is for 3 months, though.
Only 3 months.
It would be an extension for 3 months with the same conditions.
Yes.
And we would have a hearing in 3 months.
Yes. If they don't have this problem cleared up by then we'll have a show cause hearing.
Okay.
Okay, that's the motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
could I just ask Councilman Reese, what you're saying is that they would have to provide the proof that was noted in the backup that was missing? They would have to
Yes.
provide that in order to continue?
They have to satisfy Metropolitan Police Department.
Yes.
If they don't satisfy Metropolitan Police Department in 3 months, we're going to have a show cause hearing.
If I could go on the record real quick and just let you know that you don't even need a show cause hearing. If at the end of this 3-month period, there's a negative recommendation from Metro, this council can simply not grant the permanent license, and that'll result in the end of the business.
That'll be fine.
So you understand. I don't want you to come back 3 months from now and say you don't understand.
No, I understand.
Okay.
But can I say something?
You shouldn't, because right now you're winning.
Okay.
Okay? I think what you should do, though, is if you have any questions, Mr. DiFiore is available to you. The officer is available to you. They'll help you with it. But if you don't ask them, then it's at your own peril. All right? All right, there's a motion. Let's vote, please. Post?
Thanks. Thanks, you guys.
Motion carried. Good luck to you, folks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. '47, R3 2011, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution to support any and all efforts by the state legislature to mandate increased responsibility over the inventory of foreclosed properties in the city of Las Vegas by financial institutions that own foreclosed properties. Mr. Perigo?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Tom Perigo, Deputy Director of Administrative Services. In the last 12 months, there were over 23,000 homes in foreclosure in the city. That's more than 10 times the typical annual number of homes in foreclosure prior to the recession. In June of last year alone, 1 in 29 homes received a foreclosure filing. That's nearly 5 times what the national average was. This resolution provides support to the state legislature to take any action necessary to mandate that financial institutions owning those foreclosed homes maintain them in proper order, and especially to make good on homeowner association dues. With that, staff recommends approval.
All right, I know that Councilor Ross had some comment.
I do, Mayor, and I appreciate you, Mr. Perigo, putting this together for me at my request. I want to read, Mayor, if I may, just part of the meat and potatoes of this resolution, and then I would like to ask Mr. White and Mr. Walters, who have been sitting patiently waiting, I think, for this resolution. Captain Jones was here earlier, but I'm sure he had to leave, but if you could echo his comments as well in regards to how this will affect our neighborhoods. For every foreclosure action, there's a family that has experienced trauma, loss, and both emotionally and financially. As of July 2010, there have been 23,000 total foreclosures in the city of Las Vegas proper. The city is inundated by ongoing complaints and nuisance calls from residents, community partners, homeowners, and neighborhood associations regarding the lack of maintenance and associated problems to foreclosed homes, such as crime, trash, and further devaluation. The city has received repeated constituent and homeowner association complaints that financial institutions are not paying their regular homeowner association assessments and should be held accountable for their actions. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Las Vegas to support any state legislative efforts to mandate that financial institutions take full responsibility for the growing inventory of foreclosed homes, and in particular to alleviate financial constraints on homeowners and homeowner associations by paying homeowners associations assessments as such assessments accrue. The City Council's support in general in nature is not limited to any particular scope of this language. I think that's important, Mayor, that as we move forward with this resolution, should it pass, that we send a clear message to our legislature and to those financial institutions that our neighborhoods are suffering. And we just can't put that burden on the back of taxpayers. They have got to claim responsibility and stand up and do the right thing. Those are my comments. If with your permission, Mayor, either one of you want to make a comment on this resolution?
Councilman Roth?
Please. Yes, Councilwoman.
Oh, excuse me. I thought he was talking to us. No, I just feel very strongly that the banks have not moved to do their part in helping us throughout this situation. I'm shocked sometimes at the coldness that's involved in how the banks treat all of this, the people who are needing the help and also the neighborhoods that are needing the help so that their homes don't go down the tubes. So I just think it's a good deal. Bye.
Mayor, Council, my name is Earl White. With me today is Walt Walters. We're both members of the Neighborhood Stabilization Council. And Councilman Ross, we'd like to thank you for meeting with us and taking this resolution up. The Neighborhood Stabilization Council is a group of business people, elected officials, homeowners, and the Metropolitan Police Department. This idea to address this issue really came from Captain Mazalis, who was the former Area Command Captain in Northwest. Like you said, Chris Jones was here, Captain Jones was here, and he has continued this. Metro has made this a priority to address this in our neighborhoods, not only from dealing with the banks, but also from a public safety standpoint. You know, unfortunately, with this economy, our neighborhoods changed overnight, and there was a big concern in Metro. Captain Mazalis went out to the community, got community folks involved. We're meeting with the banks, but this is an example of what the private sector, concerned citizens, and business people can do when you work with government. And so we're in discussions with banks on our time and on our dime, but we couldn't have done this without the Metropolitan Police Department recognizing that these communities are changing drastically, and they got ahead of the curve and initiated this. So we want to also thank the Metropolitan Police Department.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank the council and, of course, Councilman Ross for his help with this. One of the things that we're going to be doing, in short, is holding the lenders' feet to the fire. Once a foreclosure is completed, they simply walk away from these neighborhoods. It creates crime problems, all sorts of other stresses on a neighborhood. Financial ones, too. Homeowners associations are unable to fund landscape, repairs, things of that nature. And it really essentially ruins neighborhoods. So thanks to Metro for being involved, and Captain McSalis for kind of initiating this, and, of course, Councilman Ross. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming down. Okay. Any other comments or questions? May I have a motion, please? Why don't you make it, Councilor Ross?
Thank you, Mayor. I would move to approve Agenda Item 47, Resolution 3-2011.
Very good. Let's vote on that, please.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. And Mayor, you quoted Vince Lombardi?
Yes.
I have one for you.
Go ahead.
The only place you're going to find success before work is in the dictionary.
Oh.
He's been thinking about that all morning. Thank you.
I like that. I really like that. I don't like it as much as Lombardi, though, but that's a good one. Okay. 49 is Bill number 2010-51. Update certain administrative provisions of the municipal code relating to... Oh, we did 49. Pardon me, then. 50, Bill number 2011-1, amends the Downtown Centennial Plan to include updated highway-related information and to allow a number of additional uses within the district known as 18B, the Las Vegas Arts District. Councilman Barlow, do you wish to have it read?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Councilman. Before reading the bill, with your permission, Your Honor, I'd just like to clarify the record on item number 49. There was a First Amendment in the backup. I forgot to read the words First Amendment before it was adopted. With your permission, I'd like to have the clerk enter on the record that it was adopted as First Amendment.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I'll read Bill number 2011-1, an ordinance to amend the Downtown Centennial Plan to include updated highway-related information and to allow a number of additional uses within the district known as 18B, Las Vegas Arts District, and provide for other related matters.
Thank you. And your motion, Councilman Barlow?
Move for approval.
Thank you. Please vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. 51 is Bill number 2011-2, updates the regulations governing certain commercial, entertainment, and solicitation activities within the pedestrian mall. Councilman Barlow, do you wish to have it read?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. After I read this, I'd like to put some comments on the record, too, Your Honor.
All right.
This is Bill number 2011-2, an ordinance to update the regulations governing certain commercial, entertainment, and solicitation activities within the pedestrian mall and to provide for other related matters. Your Honor, members of council, pardon me if I don't go down to the podium, but I would like to just give you some brief highlights of this new ordinance. As you're aware, for approximately the past...
Excuse me, Mr. Jervik, Mayor Pro Tem wanted to...
Yes. Before you do, Brad, I just wanted to thank Mr. Lichtenstein and the ACLU for working with us on this ordinance. It's something that we need to have for both of us to be successful, and I just hope this is a huge start for us in working something out when we have problems like this. So thank you, Mr. Lichtenstein, for being here today and for your input with Mr. Jervik on creating this, to me, a much-needed draft.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I quite agree with that. This ordinance, we've been litigating this for almost 15 years now, and we've been putting before this council various iterations of this ordinance. This is the first one that will appear before you that we have concurrence between the ACLU and the City of Las Vegas as to the language. Mr. Lichtenstein, let me also extend my congratulations and thanks to you for your work on this. Also present in the audience today is Jeff Victor, the president of the Fremont Street Experience Limited Liability Company, and their counsel, Todd Bice. With your indulgence, Your Honor, I'll be very brief. The highlights of the new ordinance are as follows. We finally have a definition of solicitation and coercive solicitation that complies with previous court orders, and we're in agreement with the ACLU. We have a new definition of street performer or busker. These are individuals that perform downtown that don't charge money. They may ask for a donation, but there's not a quid pro quo, and that definition becomes important for what I'm going to talk about in a moment. For the first time, we are addressing the issue of people erecting tables in the pedestrian mall. Tables are limited to 3 feet by 3 feet, one per organization, and there are certain restrictions as to where they can be located. And tables can only be present for what you're going to do at the table. You can't stack literature at the table beyond the size of the table. You can't have other accoutrements with you. With regard to solicitation, tabling, and street performance, there are prohibitions against all of those activities or placement of tables within 20 feet of an ATM, 10 feet of a retail kiosk, 10 feet of the perimeter of an outdoor dining, 20 feet of fire lane or crosswalk, or any place where pedestrians are obstructed or impeded. In the case of street performers only, in addition to those restrictions, there's a restriction against street performances within 200 feet of a stage performance during the performance, not at all during the light show, and not at all during special events in the mall. The most common that you're familiar with is the New Year's Eve celebration. Entertainers also cannot reserve spaces in the pedestrian mall. You might have seen videos on an earlier iteration of this ordinance where individuals will go into the pedestrian mall and place orange traffic cones out before giving a performance to reserve a spot. Now entertainers are restricted to a 2-foot circle around their feet. Whatever fits in that area they can use. They can't bring with them anything bigger than a backpack unless there are certain items that are integral to the performance. So if they are, for example, I might as well talk about hula hoops now. If a hula hoop is part of that performance, they can bring that. If juggling is part of that performance, they can bring that, provided it doesn't provide a danger to the public. But they can't bring anything bigger than a backpack. You've seen videos of people bringing wagons full of accoutrements and various items that they wish to perform with. That will no longer be allowed. Amplified sound. is only allowed if it's integral to part of the performance of a street performance, and only then the noise level is set at a particular decibel level, at 70 decibels at 50 feet from a kiosk, which is the sound of human voice, not necessarily my human voice today. And tables, as again said, are tables and tables only, not piles and cartons of literature around them. There's also a prohibition against the coolers, structures, racks, booths, and containers in the mall. All other activity that we have talked about, including leafleting, is allowed in the mall. Normally, ordinances don't tell you what you can do, they tell you what you can't do. But to make it clear for enforcement officers, we've included in this ordinance a list of things to make it clear what you can do in the wall, and leafleting would be one of them. With that said, I know Mr. Lichtenstein is here, Mr. Beiser here. They may wish to put comments on the record, as well as Mr. Victor, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have.
Mr. Ross first, please. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Well, I appreciate all the efforts of both Fremont Street Experience and the ACLU. And I think this is heading in the right direction. I still have great concerns about, I think we're going to be revisiting this one day. I'm concerned, certainly, the ability for people to do things as they see fit on public sidewalks and streets. However, to what hindrance do we allow that to occur when it comes to the businesses on Fremont Street and the Fremont Street Experience? That's a great big concern of mine as we continue down this road. But I think this is the start of the path in the right direction, certainly all sides working together. Concerned also, Mayor Pro Tem and council members and all involved about these street performers and anyone performing for money, regardless if it's tips or what have you. I think there needs to be some kind of licensing requirement and regulation in regards to that. This is an entertainment venue, and I'm quite concerned about the so-called busters, Mr. Jervik, and you know I've had this conversation with you. I'm going to support this as we move forward, but I don't think we're quite done yet. And so it's that fine balance of how do we balance those First Amendment rights as well as allow the businesses to continue to be successful and grow. And Mr. Lichtenstein, you and I have had that conversation just recently, and that's a big concern of mine. But I have to hand it to all of you involved, and Brad, you included, on getting to this point. So I thank you very much.
Mayor Goodman.
Yes, Councilman Wilson.
Thank you. I want to echo some of the things that you said, Councilman Ross, because I share a concern. I want to get a little bit more particular on one subject matter, and that's what Mr. Victor brought to my attention in a briefing, and that's the street performers. You know, let me start off by saying I think this bill is moving in the right direction. I think that reasonable minds got together and came to some compromises, and I'm going to support the bill. But what I've been told about some of the street performers are that these folks come down, many of them wearing masks. And we're not talking about one or two people. We're talking about, at sometimes, Mr. Victor, and correct me if I'm wrong, a couple of dozen people down there in the same evening. And what we've got is they're called street performers because they come down to the street and perform in a costume. But many of these folks are wearing masks. And our tourists that are coming down and experiencing the nice atmosphere out there with the kiosks and the other entertainment might believe that these street performers are part of the city's entertainment presentation, that the city is sponsoring these folks. So an adult that's walking through the Fremont Street Experience with a toddler and a street performer comes up and wants to, quote, perform, the next thing we know, these young children are being touched and picked up in a nice way, quote unquote, by the street performers. But we have no idea who these folks are. They're wearing masks. We don't know who these folks are. And so I'm sharing the same concern as you, Councilman Ross, that I think the bill is going in the right direction, but it's not perfect, and it certainly doesn't cover all of the possibilities. So I think we need to go into this with open eyes, in the sense that we may need to revisit certain things as we go down the line.
Right, that's what I said. Any other comments?
Can I have just one question, Mayor?
Sure.
If I may, in regards to Councilman Wilson's comments, I think you're hitting it on the head, and I think I want to ask our legal team, is it illegal to restrict mask wearing? And I guess you can't do that in the public. I mean, if it's a private location, you probably could, but not in a public location, restrict anybody from wearing a mask. That's correct. Is that correct?
That's correct. If the mask is part of the performance, the mask is legal. There's nothing that can be done to force them to give up their identification or anything else. If they're committing a crime, that's different. but let me make a distinction. This bill distinguishes between street performers who charge, and when I say charge, I'm talking about a quid pro quo. A quid pro quo would be, if you want your picture taken with me dressed as Superman, you have to give me $20. That's a quid pro quo. Or I've taken a picture and you say, you now owe me $20. That is commercial entertainment. That requires permission of Fremont Street Experience and requires a business license. All other street performances, those that include people who ask for donations, whether it be a passive donation, a bucket with a $sign on it in front of them, or a request afterwards, it'd be nice if you could give me some money for having taken that picture, all of that is non-commercial and is protected by the First Amendment. And a recent case out of the Ninth Circuit about a year and a half ago addressed this kind of street performer and cities' abilities to regulate them, and it's almost non-existent in this circuit.
Okay. All right. Well, I met with the Mayor Pro Tem and Mr. Victor, I guess last week when we were briefed on this. Mr. Jervik gave us a briefing, and I don't like it. I'm going to support it because the Mayor Pro Tem feels very strongly that we have to have a ordinance in place to avoid further litigation, and we haven't gotten the best of it in the litigation so far. And that's the thing that bothers me, because I have a great respect for the courts, and I have a great respect for Judge Ezra, who was the district court judge that set the parameters of what we're doing here. And with all due respect, I think that Judge Ezra is wrong. I think that the Fremont Street Experience is not a public street. I think it's a private enterprise. I don't see any reason why he can find that Waikiki Beach in Hawaii, 7 miles stretch of it, is protected from this kind of activity, but our Fremont Street isn't. To me, I question whether or not, with some of the language in his decision, whether he visited Fremont Street or whether he's talking about the Las Vegas Strip when he made some of his comments. The thing that I'm most concerned about is the singular complaint above any other in the 11 and a half years that I've been the mayor that I receive in my office is from visitors in particular who are accosted, for lack of a better word, by people out on the Strip who are handing out sexually explicit material which they do not want to receive. And I asked whether or not that would be possible under this ordinance down on Fremont Street, and have these items discarded so that women and children would be subject to viewing them. And I'm told that we can't hold anybody responsible for that. We can't hold the pamphleteers responsible for it. We can't hold the people who are passing out the material responsible for it, and we can't even cite anybody for littering. And I hope that we don't have the situation down on Fremont Street that exists on the Strip, because I think we will lose a family venue, which is so important to the success of our downtown redevelopment projects. And I would hope that that matter, if addressed at some future time, if it does interfere with the peace and goodwill of that particular venue, it can be litigated with perhaps another judge and another panel making the decision. And I say that respectfully because Judge Ezra is a friend and a colleague of mine, but on this one he's dead wrong.
Mayor?
Yep. Councilman Barlow.
You're not mad, are you?
I'm not mad. I'm angry. I am, because I think that a situation is going to be created here, to be quite frank with you, that I really don't want to exist in my downtown.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Mayor, let me say this, that I do want to commend the ACLU as well as the City of Las Vegas and the Fremont Street Experience and everyone else that was involved in this process. This is a very tough tightrope that everyone had to scale. Unfortunately for the tourists of the downtown community, the residents of our great city, have to put up with what I will call a nuisance of whether it be the entertainment where people are being accosted or the handbills that are literally being forced in the residents' chest that they don't want to receive, as you mentioned. I mean, this is something that I would love to see go away, specifically as it impede those businesses that have done the right thing. They've come in and filled out their business license and were approved by the city council, and they're paying their taxes, and to have business run away or be ran away from what I call a nuisance of individuals that are disturbing the flow of business is outright wrong. I understand that the justice system is in place to protect those who are violated, but I also believe that in some cases it protects those who are doing wrong, and I don't think that's fair. So I will unfortunately be voting for this item in favor, but I will be voting reluctantly at the same time, with not 100% confidence in where we are today. But I do understand that we have made progress, and for that I don't want to impede that progress that we've been able to make. And this fight is not over, because this is something that I'm going to, as long as I'm sitting on this dais, this is something that I'm going to continue to push to make right, because I believe that there is something that we can do. What it is today, I don't know, but it's something I'm most definitely going to continue to push forward to correct on behalf of those businesses that are doing the right thing in the city of Las Vegas. Thank you.
Mr. Bice, did you want to be heard?
I did, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Todd Bice, legal counsel for the Fremont Street Experience Limited Liability Company. I just have a couple of comments I want to make about the ordinance. We are very appreciative of the city attorney's office working with us, and also with respect to the ACLU, we all sat down, we hammered out an ordinance that none of us are, I think, overly thrilled with, but we view this as a step in the right direction. Mr. Mayor, as you know, we had met before about this. One of the original concepts, and that it was originally proposed through the city attorney's office, was an ordinance that was going to create some different zone-type concepts, which would have allowed people, which would have set up the rules real clearly, where people could be, where they couldn't be, what they could do, what they couldn't do. The ACLU had objected to that. We understand this ordinance isn't the best thing, and not everyone is thrilled with all of it, but we are going to work with it. We're going to try and implement it, and we will see what it does based upon real-life experiences. And I fully anticipate, just as Councilman Ross and Councilman Wolfson have suggested, as all of you have, we will likely have to be back to fine-tune this as the process goes along. We may have to revisit entirely other concepts, just depending upon how this ordinance ends out working out. So I agree with most of the comments that are made that this probably isn't going to solve all the problems. In fact, we are fearful that it will not. But we are willing to work with the ACLU, give it a shot, see what happens as a consequence of this ordinance. So we would ask for your support of the ordinance at this time, with the understanding that we are likely, that we may very well, as Councilman Ross points out, it's a step in the process. Thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem.
We need somebody else to speak, I guess.
All right, we have to make it very quick, because I'm losing.
I can't go now. It's too late. It's going to be at 12 o'clock.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, please.
Juanita Clark on behalf of Charleston Neighborhood Preservation. We have a few concerns. On page 1, line 22, by what standards is unsightly to be determined? We felt that was a comment that my judgment may not be the same as someone else's. And so, do you want me to repeat that? I do have copies here. At 51 on the bottom. And page 2, lines 27 and 28, page 3, line 1, and page 5, line 9. We are concerned about celestial being used in the title of the vault constructed above Fremont Street and the various light and sound effects accompanying such images. Also, there probably is sound effects, but in the bill it says effect. Page 3, line 6. Does this mean that display vehicles can be used to transport persons or property? It mentions in there that it's not their primary purpose, so can they be used to transport that anyway? Page 4, line 2, by what standards is conspicuous to be determined? And our last one, does Bill 2011-2 negate Bill 2010-31, or will both be used for governing the pedestrian mall?
Right. I don't know the answers to those questions. I think you'll have to discuss it with Mr. Jervik, but can we do that during the break, please? Because I've got to move this along. I'm losing council members along the way.
Thank you.
For doctor's appointments and the like.
Good morning. Alan Lichtenstein from the ACLU. First of all, thank you for the kind comments. I'll be very brief because I don't want you to lose council members. What we tried to do, and I have to give great credit to both Mr. Jervik and Mr. Bice, is a difficult thing. This didn't occur in a vacuum. This occurred based on a lot of litigation, 14 years worth to be exact, not just from one court, from several courts, and even decisions that didn't involve specifically Fremont Street. So what we attempted to do is within the confines of the courts, and a lot of decisions made by courts I don't like either, but we do live in a nation of laws, and we live with the decisions we don't like. Try to create the kind of time, place, and manner restrictions within that general framework that the courts have set up that would maximize the freedom of individuals for First Amendment rights while minimizing the interference with both the businesses and the visitors to the business. Will there be certain things that may come up that we hadn't thought of? I'm sure there will be because, as you know, even in the recommending committee, some things came up. What I hope we will do, and I hope will happen, is that if a specific problem does come up, that I'd certainly like to know about it and see if we can go through the process that we went through in order to get this, in order to, again, fine-tune these things. I don't want to go back to court. I've got enough other issues to deal with because of that, and if we can try to, fix some of those things. But we also have to understand that living in a nation of laws, we never quite get a situation where we're necessarily happy with the entire result. That is part of the compromise, and certainly free speech comes at a price. It is not just warm and fuzzy. It comes at having to deal with people and comments that you don't want. Again, trying to minimize the negative secondary effects is what we attempted to do here. And I think we did a good job. And again, I'd like to commend people from the city and Fremont Street Experience for working so hard with us on this so that hopefully we've got a framework to no longer litigate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Protem.
Yes. Mr. Jervik, thank you very much for your due diligence on this item. This is not the only item that we've been able to, that we asked you to work on in the last 10 or 15 years. There's been many issues that has been challenged. Mr. Victor, I want to thank you for what you do and the predecessors that have been there before you. This is something that we envisioned many, many years ago, and it has come to truism. We have problems, and we've tried to account for those problems and take care of them. Apparently, we failed many, many times. And I listened to my council members sitting up here. This is not the only item that we have had problems with. We've had other items, especially in my ward, and some items in Councilman Barlow's ward. This item here today directly affects Councilman Barlow's ability to, I guess, answer questions when he's asked about things that happened in his ward, because he serves half of Fremont Experience, and I serve the other half. And I don't know about Councilman Barlow's office, but I get many, many calls and I guess letters from out-of-state people that have been on Fremont Experience and have complained about some of the things we're talking about here today. And I can certainly appreciate the courts. I've always felt like sometimes they render rulings without even knowing what they're talking about, because they haven't been there and they haven't seen what we're trying to do. And even before we started with this Fremont experience, we had a man that has been very, very successful. And at one time, there was talk about creating rivers around Fremont Street and down Fremont Street. And that was Mr. Wynn, who owned the Golden Nugget at the time. And I've always said to myself, I wonder what would happen if we would have had the canals with boats and people drowning in them, I guess, where they could really have something to complain about. But today, we have issues, and we have tried to address those issues, and we have been turned aside by the courts. And so, again, Fremont Experience has people that have invested money and time, and they are trying to operate it. This is not something that we, the city, operate. The Fremont Experience people themselves operate this, and I respect that. And when Mr. Victor, I see him over there, and he starts talking to me about some of the issues that he has, I want to help him just like I want to help anybody that resides in Ward 3. That's all we're trying to do here today, is help those people that live in Ward 3 and Ward 5, I guess, Councilman. They have issues, and we're trying to help them. We're trying to find answers for them. And yes, we're not going to make everybody happy, but we have to start somewhere. And that's why when I prefaced my remarks with Mr. Lichtenstein being here today, I appreciate that. I really do. I hope that we can have a continuation of the issues as they come up, where we can find solutions, so that Mr. Victor will be able to tell the people that he works for that we're doing all we can to help. And I think today, I won't speak for Mr. Victor, but I'm sure he's saying to himself, like he said to the mayor and I, and what the mayor alluded to is, they're not really happy with it. But we have to start over again. And that's what we're doing here today, is we're starting all over again. And I really I want to thank those again that have been part of this. I think we've held this in abeyance, Mr. Jerbick, 4 or 5 times. It's been going on for over a year. And it's easy to sit up here and say, well, we should have done this, we should have done that. But we didn't, and we haven't, but we're going to do this. And so I'm going to support this.
Right. Your motion, please.
Ricky Bangin.
Okay, Ricky. Councilor Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. I, with great displeasure, move for approval of this item.
Is that First Amendment, Councilman?
I'm sorry?
First Amendment?
First Amendment.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. And please. And may the record reflect that Councilman Reese is excused and Councilman Wolfson is excused for the remainder of this morning and this afternoon session.
I'll be here in a second.
Right. Mayor Pro Tem will be here this afternoon. Okay, we'll go on to Bill number 2011-4. Continues to authorize on a temporary basis the waiver of the origination charge for new urban lounge and tavern limited licenses. Councilor Barlow, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Bill number 2011-4, an ordinance to continue to authorize on a temporary basis the waiver of the origination charge for new urban lounge and tavern limited licenses, and to provide for other related matters.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, did you want to be heard?
Well, I just wanted to throw a map up on. I think there was a request to have a map available at the meeting.
Yes.
And I just wanted to clarify for the public what districts in the downtown this waiver applies to. We've, and I'm Scott Adams, the Chief Urban Redevelopment Officer. We've had 2 areas, the Entertainment District, which is indicated here in the dark brown area in the north end of downtown. At the south end of downtown, the Arts District. It's in the Arts District that we're waiving the origination fee for another year for urban lounge licenses, and in the Entertainment District, we're waiving the tavern limited licenses. These are blow-ups of these 2 areas.
And Mr. Adams, if you will, this item came up, Mayor, if you don't mind, this item came up in recommending meeting on yesterday with Councilman Anthony and I from a constituent from, I believe, the Charleston Neighborhood Preservation, Juanita Clark. I believe that was her name. And she wanted to know the boundaries of the area in which we were discussing, because on the recommending item, it just stated it did not lay out the boundaries in which we were discussing our item on yesterday. So if you can describe the boundaries of the East Fremont District Entertainment District as well as the Arts District, that would be helpful.
Okay, the Fremont East District, the Entertainment District, is basically the Boulevard, Ogden, 8th, and Carson. It's a 6-block area. The Arts District is Hoover, Colorado, Commerce, and 4th and Las Vegas Boulevard. There are 18 blocks within the Arts District, and there are 6 blocks within the Entertainment District for a total of 24 blocks.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
With that, Mayor, I would like to move for approval subject to all conditions of this item.
Very good. Let's vote, please. Host? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Item 53, Bill number 2011-3 is eligible for adoption at a later meeting, so we're moving on to the new bills. New bills, items 54 through 56, bills 2011-5 through 2011 7 will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, February 15th, 2011. Mr. Jervik, would you read those, please?
With your permission, Your Honor, I'd like to have future City Attorney David Watt read them for us.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Bill number 2000-5, an ordinance relating to news racks updating, permitting, and identification requirements, including authentication for permit sticker fees, authorizing the bolting of news racks to sidewalks, and providing for other related matters. Bill number 2000-6, an ordinance to provide that the city's regulations pertaining to alcoholic beverages do not prohibit a minor from entering or remaining in a liquor store with the package license as long as the minor is continuously accompanied by the minor's parent or legal guardian, and to provide for other related matters. Bill number 2011-6. Okay. Bill number 2011-7, an ordinance relating to zoning and land development, repealing titles 18 and 19 of the municipal code and adopting by reference a united development code to be contained in a new title 19 and providing for other related matters.
All right, thank you very much. Will you be available, Councilman Barlow, on the 15th to hear these?
Yes, I will, Mayor.
Thank you. And Councilman Anthony? Very good. Then I'll assign these bills to you. And the next item is to go into closed session. That would be item number 57. At a request, we're going to put this at the end. We'll trail us to the end of the afternoon calendar after citizens' participation and council comments.
Stretch it out.
My last remembrance of that, I was raised west of Nebraska. My last thing I did back there was out there and about 5 o'clock in the morning, we ice off the stock cans so the cows could drink. We'll start then. That's my last.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start our afternoon agenda by calling item number 58. Any items from the afternoon session that the council staff and or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem?
There is none.
All right, then we'll go on to items 61 and 62. Wrong. Items 59 and 60 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the Department of Planning and Development. May I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda, items 59 and 60?
So moved, Your Honor, with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 61 and 62 may be considered in one motion, one vote. They're considered routine, non-public hearing items with no condition changes, and any person representing an application or a member of the public or member of the council not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. Item number 61 is a rescission, EOT 39951. The applicant owners Charles and Gail Shields request for an extension of time of a previously approved rezoning from RE Residence Estates to PR Professional Office and Parking on a portion of .96 acres at 7180 West Azure Drive. What ward is that in? Would you move for the rescission then?
Move to rescind, Your Honor.
Okay, let's vote on that, please. Oh, we just do it together? Okay, fair enough. And 62 is a rehearing, EOT 39951, extension of time, a rezoning. The applicant owners Charles and Gail Shields request for an extension of time of a previously approved rezoning from RE Residence Estates to PR Professional Office and Parking on a portion of .96 acres at 7180 West Azure Drive. This request is to add rezoning to the extension of time request and delete the text of a portion of, that's in quotes, on a portion of, end quote, so as to include the entire .96 acres. The staff recommends approval for these items. These items are on Board 6. May I have a motion, please, to approve items 61 and 62, Councilman Ross?
Mayor, I'll make the motion, but can Mr. Fagg explain that just so everybody understands what we're doing?
Sure, Mr. Fagg.
Certainly. The two items were actually two rezoning cases, and by doing the rescind and rehear, we're joining them together under one case.
Then that's the explanation for that. I would move to approve agenda items 61 and 62.
Very good. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Item 63 is SUP 38534, special use permit related to SUP 38533. Public hearing. The applicant is LoanX. The owner is Decatur Oki Plaza Limited Partnership. Request for a special use permit for a proposed secondhand dealer use jewelry within an existing 750 square foot financial institution specified at 1620 South Decatur Boulevard, Suite A. This is in Ward 1. The Planning Commission and staff both recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing, which I now declare open. Is anybody here on behalf of the applicant? Okay, Councilwoman Tarkanian, your pleasure.
We had this item before when they requested two different new businesses to come in, and one was granted, and at the time I told them I didn't think there was enough square footage to have the second granted, and they are now coming back for the second again, and I moved not to approve the item because there's insufficient square footage within the rooms themselves for this business to add another business to it, and there's also insufficient parking.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Items 64 and 65. 64 is VAR 39433. Request for a variance to allow a 65-foot tall off-premise sign where 50 feet is the maximum height allowed. 65 is SUP 39432. Request for a special use permit for a proposed 65-foot tall, 14-foot by 48-foot off-premise sign. The applicant is Lamar Central Outdoor LLC, and the owner is D&W Inc. The project is located on 14.49 acres at 120 North Jones Boulevard. The Planning Commission recommends approval, and staff recommends denial of both items. These items are in Ward 1, and they're public hearings, which are now declared open. Are you representing the applicant?
I am.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Jennifer Lazovich, 8345 West Sunset Road, here today on behalf of Lamar Advertising. We will be requesting that items 64 and 65 be held and not heard today. Before we request the hold, we would like to thank Jim Lewis for meeting with us, and we need to confirm our understanding of your city attorney's position with regard to these items. It's our understanding that, one, no action can be taken by this city council on VAR 39433 or SUP 39432 until the existing billboard that is located on APN 138-25-404-008 is removed by Lamar. While technically the application should not have been accepted by the city since the existing billboard is located within 750 feet of the location of the proposed billboard, the applications for the proposed billboard were, in fact, accepted, processed, and have been heard and approved by the Planning Commission. Because of this, the city attorney has determined that while our applications for the proposed billboard can proceed, before there can be any action by the city council on these applications, the existing billboard must be removed. Contrary to what the property owner's representative, where the existing billboard is located, may have been told, once the existing billboard is removed, the property owner does not have the right to erect a new billboard within 12 months. And therefore, once the existing billboard is removed, this council will be free to act on the present applications. We would respectfully ask that the city attorney correct us if we have in any way misunderstood or misstated anything.
All right, fine. Did you want to be heard, Mr. Lewis?
Very briefly, Your Honor. The applicant is correct. The fact of the matter is there was a condition on the existing billboard SUP that indicates that upon voluntary demolition of that board, that a new SUP would be required on that site. That specific condition supersedes a general condition in our code that says you have 12 months in which to re-erect without a new SUP. Therefore, if Lamar removes their billboard on the current site, this council may act, if it chooses, to approve the new SUP.
All right, thank you. Councilman Ross?
So, am I understand this correctly then? We're going to make them take that board down and then maybe approve another SUP? That's a little backwards, isn't it? I mean, why can't we give them the SUP and let them erect the new board and tear the old board down when they're done?
Well, that would certainly be within this board's discretion. My advice, however, is because of the way the condition is worded, that there would still be an existing billboard within 750 feet from when you're asked to hear the item, and therefore that item would not be valid.
Okay, Mayor, if I may. Ms. Lesovich, this board is going to replace the old one, correct? Is that the idea?
That's correct. This board will replace the existing board. The only difference will be that this board will have power to it, whereas the current billboard does not have power to it right now.
So the city is making your applicant tear the old one down and maybe they get a new one in the other location. I mean, am I essentially correct in that, Mr. Lewis?
Correct.
Yes. That's a little difficult.
Well, we're not making, excuse me, if I can clarify, we're not making Lamar do anything. The applicant has come in with a request for a new special use permit.
Okay, for a new board.
For a new board. If Lamar chooses to move forward with the new application, the condition on their old board is that that one must first be removed.
Oh, okay.
So we're not making them do anything.
So
it's at their discretion.
Okay, and I understand that too, but Mayor, if I can, so if the applicant did a review of condition on the old board, withdrawing that condition, they could move forward and build the new board and then tear the old one down. I'm just a little confused here as to why the city would require a business to tear something down and maybe be allowed to build it next door.
We're not required to tear it down.
No, they're asking to. We're not requiring.
No, they want to move it.
Mayor, I mean,
Yes.
Councilman, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Scott.
Councilman, the mayor, the city's not requiring or making them tear down anything. They can keep the current board up at the current location. It just doesn't have power. They want to build a billboard with power and with lights on it.
Right, I get
the
that.
current owner is not allowing them to do that. So they're saying, and so because they can't make an agreement with that owner, they're choosing to build it on the adjacent property. The condition that they agreed to when they built the billboard currently is that would be expunged if they voluntarily took it down. So we're just following the condition that was placed upon the board at the time it was erected.
But back to my last question, they can always do a review of condition on the first board to have that withdrawn. Am I correct?
But that wouldn't really do anything. I mean, all it would say is that they'd have to go. I guess they could say if you expunge that condition, they would then go back to what Title 19 says, which is what they would have a 1-year period of time in which that SUP would remain, and they could never build that board on the adjacent property because that SUP would still exist on the current property.
All right,
so expunging it doesn't
I
really
just
do
think
any good.
sometimes we're being business restrictive.
And I'm not sure why that condition was placed on the board. So, I mean, we'd have to go back through the history. The council placed that condition. I'm not sure exactly why that condition was placed on this particular
Well, and I
board,
know this is in Councilwoman's ward, Mayor, and Councilwoman, with all due respect, if you recall, there was a time period when we had, I used the 1-year review on billboards throughout the city, that oftentimes it was very difficult for the industry to do business because it's difficult to plan on a 12-month basis with your business.
Right.
Some locations, billboards are in great locations, others they're not, and you know that fully. So again, it just seems to me that we're just being business restrictive, if you will, to not allow the applicant to do what they need to do for the benefit of their business. Thank you, Mayor.
I believe that the lawyers for both sides are talking with each other, and they will be working something out, and they're not going to work anything out, she says, okay. Be that as it may, I think one of the problems is this. The fact is, my understanding is, the owner of the sign, the Lamar Advertising, wanted to have electricity at that sign, and the owner of the property would not let him.
Yes.
Now, I spoke with that owner yesterday, and he insisted more than once that he would never not sign for that because why would he? It isn't, it isn't good business or so forth. So then I said, I will ask you if you have any documentation or anything signed, or emails or anything where he said you could not have the electricity, which would clear up the point. I'm just trying to make it very clear because he can't, he feels, that he's been, somebody is maneuvering against him, and I told him that you feel, Lamar feels, that it's the fact that they haven't been able to work with him because he's kept electricity from them for so long. And I told him, I saw the pictures. You cannot see that sign at night. You can see the 3 other signs. You can't see that sign at night. So I told him a good part of the time people are watching the sign or would be seeing it, you can't see it. And he said, well, would that be a cause to be able to let them go ahead and build this? And I said, yes, it could be a cause in my mind. As far as what the legal people say, I do what they say. But as far as any interpretation I would make, I feel the fact that if you were kept from using your sign for the utmost value you could, that and it was purposely done, then that would make a difference in the decision. So I'm asking you, because he's denying that this happened, could you just give me something that shows that he did deny it?
We will go back and look in the time period before this comes back to the council for a full discussion. I will tell you that Scott Knapsker, who works for Lamar, I've known him for a long time, he is in charge of the leasing of all their boards, and he had or attempted to have numerous conversations and dialogue with the property owner's attorney. We have faxes that we can show you that 4 years ago we sent over, but we never got power to the board.
Oh,
we never got
that.
the easement signed.
It doesn't have power now.
Right.
I know that.
And the only reason I guess I say is it is in Lamar's best interest to have power to that board, and for 2 of those 4 years, at their cost only, they put a generator on the board to the tune of $50,000 each year, right, for a total of $100,000. So it would never have been in their best interest to not pursue requesting power to the site. Right. They were, in fact, losing money on the board.
And, in fact, I just want to tell Jennifer that the sheet that you gave me that seemed to me as innocuous as you get with a public utility, right, that he, you said he would not sign, I showed him that, and I said, why wouldn't you sign this? And he said, well, he was never asked to sign or stuff like that. So I just wanted to make it a very clear cut that this had occurred.
Thank you.
That's all.
And,
we
I
felt you could do that because I'm sure you had communication.
Yes, and again, I'll go back and ask Scott to see what he can find, but I can assure you it was in our best interest to try to get power to that board. So we did have multiple attempts, but unfortunately the easement was never signed that NV Energy needed on behalf of the property owner. Therefore, we could not get power to the sign.
And he's saying he never got that. It was never brought to him. And then I said to him, well, we'll find some documentation and show you what occurred.
We will look for something.
And I hope it did go to him, I'm assuming.
What my understanding is there was an initial conversation from Scott Knapsker to the property owner. The property owner then directed Scott to work with his attorney, and conversations after that occurred or were attempted to have been taken place between Scott and the applicant or the property owner's attorney.
Yeah.
So there might not.
His response to me was, why wouldn't I want them to have electricity? So that's why I just felt for us not to get into any convolution afterwards if we had something to just show that he was aware. and that you had asked, and that's why. And my understanding is Jay Brown cannot be here in 2 weeks, so I would move for the abeyance, as you requested, to make it 30 days.
Okay.
So then he could be here too. I
Yes.
thought he might be here today, but he wasn't.
All right, before the vote, Mr. Farlow, did you want to be heard?
Yes, I have a question and comment. Just for general purposes. If the current sign was taken down, does that use permit still, does that property owner still have that special use permit? Can he bring in another sign company to build a
No,
sign?
we can't.
No, he can't.
No. Well, once it's down, it's the use is gone.
That's it. Comment is that all billboards should have neon on them. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Hodge?
My name is Hodge. They will do Teresa David. I'm not interfering, Jennifer. I'm just saying good luck, whatever.
Okay. Anybody else want to be heard? All right. Hearing none, the councilwoman has made a motion to obey for 30 days. Let's vote on that, please.
And I wanted to say I wanted to thank you, Jennifer and Chris, for the help that you've given and the information that you've given me so that I can use it to show the individual that the way we're going.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 66 is RQR 40547, required review, public hearing. The applicant is Princess Massage. The owner is Chetak Development, Inc. Request for a required review of a previously approved special use permit, which allowed a 1,200 square foot expansion of an existing massage establishment with a waiver of the minimum 1,000 foot separation requirement from 3 existing massage establishments at 2212, pardon me, Paradise Road, and this is in Ward 3. The staff recommends approval, subject to conditions. The public hearing, which is now open. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Douglas Wingo. I live at 7514 Longhorn Lodge Avenue in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm the owner of Princess Massage.
Thank you, sir. Is this a public hearing? Would anyone want to be heard on this item?
Well, I had been told yesterday in a phone conversation that Councilman Reese was going to recommend that I have another 3-month probation period, and I was wondering what's happening with this, why this is happening.
We have had a few issues. We've had issues with other massage establishments. I feel like that we need to have another 3-month hearing on this. I got 4 letters of opposition to this at this location. I have 1 here in favor of. I want to put those in the public record.
All right, this is part of the record then?
Yes. And my motion is going to be to have another 3-month hearing for this location.
All right, Mr. Hodge, do you want to be heard?
Well, y'all already making a decision, whatever. It's the Mayor Pro Tem, whatever. You're the man.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay, that's the motion.
Okay. We've gone through 2 years of review now. The last year, we've been on this probation time. And we've gone through all the reviews, the police inspections, the health inspections, everything else. Everything else has gone smoothly. They found no problems with it. All the staff, the planning people, everything's found as smooth. And we've had no complaints from anybody else. We've done our restricted hours. We love the restricted hours. We don't want to go to our 24-hour that we had before. Everything is fine.
All right. We have a motion. All right, let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 67.
Was that with the, to go without the?
The 3 months.
With the 3-month review.
67, Madam Clerk, would you please set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings in dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements? Thank you. 68 is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come up to the podium and give us your name, and we'll put the 3-minute timer on, please.
Mayor,
Yes.
first of all, though, before the wasn't there an item to be heard after the regular meeting?
Yes, that's a closed-door session on...
that's a... Okay.
Yes, on negotiations, collective bargaining. Sven.
Good afternoon. Dorothy Barnes, Las Vegas resident. I have a mailing address of P.O. Box 466, Las Vegas, Nevada 89125. I know y'all missed me last month. I was in Shreveport the whole month, except for the New Year Day. But I got a new grandbaby.
Congratulations.
Hoping she's feeling better. She's been sick. So I'm back, and I'm still encouraging people to sign these promissory notes because there's trouble in my hometown. I haven't seen so much trouble. When I got there, I would talk to the police department. I didn't get to talk to the mayor. They got a new mayor down there. First time I think they ever had a black mayor in Shreveport. I was shocked. I got in the airport and I looked. I said, even the airport is different. Everything was different. They got a Sam's Town, a El Dorado. You got a Hustlers Gentleman Club. I said, what is happening in Shreveport? But I know I was in the same city. It's different. I see Sam's Town. You know, you be away from home 10 years and you go back to your hometown and you see all this new stuff and everything. And it's just great to be back home, and I'm glad to be back to my new home. So I'm still encouraging people to give me a signature on the promissory note. I'm encouraging all my family because, you know, I lost 2 family members violently in my hometown. My nephew at 19 and my youngest brother was ex-military police, was shot to death, drugs and gang. So I'm encouraging my family especially to give me that signature on this promissory note. More than ever, we're living in this last and evil day. There's so many things I can't even go over. People are just, you know, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I could help them if I could know how to deal with things, what they think they're doing. But if I could get them to sign this paper, they'll help them understand, and it'll help them to deal with life better. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, would anyone else like to be heard?
Hello, Your Honor, Counsel. I certainly will be able to be done in my 3 minutes.
No problem. You have to identify yourself, Mr.
Stanley Washington.
Right.
Just a brief update. As you know, I came before you before to advise you about the federal initiative. I just want to let you know that I'm following through with all government bodies as it's called for. I did address the County Commission yesterday. Commissioner Sisolak and Weekly were enthusiastically agreed to that that's the right thing to do. I do plan to come before the Convention Authority Board on Tuesday. The book says, Your Honor, that everyone is supposed to be involved and everyone should know about it. So my first thing is I'm going to go before the Gaming Commission so everyone will know about it because I'm putting a package in everyone's hand. And after that, then the next phase is that we're supposed to engage and get together and put together some plans to go ahead and do that. So that'll be part 2. But I also have communicated with Ken Levine from HUD. He's enthusiastically said, Stan, look, it's only my boss who's leading the initiative. Whenever you're ready, let's go. And really what I want to do, Your Honor, is have a workshop, which is what's called for, where all the agencies get together, and then we go ahead and have Secretary Donovan come in and really lay it down to us straight out from the horse's mouth so everyone's on the same page and how serious this is and where this really is. Is this really a national priority, or is it just something they're saying? So I think no better way to hear it from the horse's mouth, because if anything, I think we have a grand opportunity to be first in this charge. And certainly, Councilman Barlow, with the majority of the homelessness being in Ward 5, I would think that you're going to go ahead and step up and join Commissioner Weekly, because it's in Ward D, as we go ahead and move forward to take advantage of this initiative, because I would think that would be a wonderful thing to eliminate homeless veterans within Ward 5. Thank you.
I know that the gentleman from Catholic Charities and a representative of the city, I believe Mr. Harson, and one other individual are going down to San Antonio, I believe, to be briefed on this, and then we'll come back and report it as well.
That's good. I'll be going to D.C. for the American Legion's conference. They're playing a big part, obviously, being the 90 years there. So this is something that everyone gets involved in. So they're doing the cheerleading thing first to get everybody rubbed up and then get into business. So I'll continue to do my part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Please give us your name first.
Okay, bear with me. My babysitter fell through and I stutter, so let me see if I can do this.
My name's Charles Mazza, I'm 4917 Sparkling Sky Avenue, 89130. I am here to talk about the ordinance for city parks that bans the legal carry of a firearm. State parks are now going to allow it, and I just thought if city parks were going to follow suit, or if there could be a discussion about the issue to allow legal carry of a firearm.
Let me ask this. Does the city attorney know of any such ordinance? I don't recall any.
I think there is such an ordinance. We have to research it, Mayor. I'm not sure for sure.
I spoke to Deputy Stratler, I think it's his name.
Yes, with the
and he
marshal's
said,
office.
as of right now, there is an ordinance banning.
There is one.
Yes.
We'll research the issue, Mayor, and we'll get back to the council on it.
And you opposed to such an ordinance?
Yes, because I would like to go to a park and be able to carry a concealed weapon. I've done all the checks. I did the FBI check, the fingerprint, background, and shooting test, and 8 hours of classroom instruction. And I cannot go into Floyd Lamb Park with my firearm, and I have a city park up by my house, Pauly Gonzalez, and I have to park on the street and leave my firearm in the car and then take my son in the park. So I wanted to bring this matter in front of the council, so see if they could change that ordinance.
It will be brought to our attention.
Mayor, I am being told there is such an ordinance in Chapter 13 of our code.
Okay.
So we'll take a look.
All right, we'll have to take a look
And
at it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
what has happened and why he's here, we received some correspondence on this previously, is that the state has now allowed firearms in the parks, right?
In the state parks,
In the
yes.
state parks. And he's just wondering if we would do the same thing, and not necessarily. We'll have to.
Okay. I just wanted to bring it to the
Right, I didn't even know it was an
council's
issue, so I appreciate you coming down.
And thank you for everyone who's gotten back to me, all the councilmen and their people.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next, please.
Your son was great, too.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Anthony Honda, I live 123 David. I just come to say this. When we had 9/11, and in 1990, I wrote a telegram to the United States government, period. And I made a mention. I said that the only thing we had made in America was the flag. But right 3 days after I had 9/11, I bought a flag over on Bonanza and Lamb. So I'm not being funny now. This is the truth. A Spanish man sold me the flag, and the flag was made in Korea. What I'm trying to say, there is a few flags made in the United States by the United States, and this is one of them. It's a little fella, but it's cute. And so I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing made in the United States today is babies with foreign parents. From where the kids are citizens of the United States, and their parents from Lord knows where. But we have to be real honest. Now, I'm also here today to say, in March, it will be 20 years I've been coming down here. I started out with Frank Hawkins and Jan Jones, and this is what happened when she first came in. I'd like to show the picture if you don't mind. You got it?
There it goes.
Okay, I'll move that one. And that's her second term. And then this is the beginning of your first term, whatever.
I was in good shape then.
Hey, Mayor, you look pretty good, huh? Whatever.
Then I did.
And this, I had that over at the county. That's a very famous word. And it deals with our entire scope as human beings on this planet. It says psycho-ono-immunology. It has 4 syllables, 21 letters. The truth is, our entire lives is in that word right there. I don't care who he is, how famous he is, crazy, got a right mind, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all fall under that category. Then all of us. Thank you. Whatever. I'm just passing by. What I want to say is that over the years, here's one more. Let me talk about justice. I made that mention yesterday too. See, justice, they say, is blind. But I say justice wear sunglasses because justice kind of do a little peeking. Robert Kennedy once said that doing it justice for all that can afford to pay for it. I mentioned that before. What I'm really trying to say is that then in the United States we say you're innocent until proven guilty. No, you are guilty until proven innocent all over the world. The United States has no exception in the deal. I'm sorry. If you're rich enough, you can get off with anything you want to. If you ain't got no money, you can go to jail even if you're innocent. Sorry about that. I love you. It's been nice knowing you.
Thank you. Next, please.
I have 3 items, so I'm going to have to move fast. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. Councilman Reese, on item number 43, that Fong's Restaurant, they wanted a tavern license on that. Do they still own that the buildings just to the west of that establishment?
No, do what, Tom?
The people that own Fong's Restaurant, do they still own those? Because those buildings really need to be cleaned up. On number 47, that was in regards to the 23,000 foreclosed homes in this city, which is atrocious. I just do not think that this city should have to go to a banker hat in hand. I mean, they should be coming to us, not them. Now, the third item. On the NewsHour, it's came up with the statistics that right now 1% of the population of the United States owns 77% of the wealth. That is an abomination. That means that of the 2 million people in the Las Vegas Valley, that means that 20,000 of those 2 million people would own 77% of the wealth. The disparity is increasing. The people are losing because the people are losing the equity in their homes, which was their asset. Their pension fund contributions have been stopped by the business. 3, the people are borrowing against the pensions. They're part of the pension fund, and their savings are used up. In the next 2 months, some 45,000 people are going to be in what they call the 49ers, which means that their unemployment benefits are running out. And as Ted Rall pointed out in the Progressive Populace, the renters are now being evicted because they haven't got the money. Where I'm going with this is the demand on public services is going to increase. Because these people are just one health problem away from ruin, and the dominoes are falling. Now, Congress wants to decimate the block grants. If that do you people understand what the implications of that? I mean, is there anybody that do you actually get together and discuss this?
Yes, we do.
This is a disaster.
I agree.
Anyway, the governor is now saying that he's going to dump more stuff back on the cities. We don't have. I don't see where this is going. This is the thing I'm trying to make. Now, Senator Ensign is up there and says the rest of us got to suck in our gut and take it up. So he's not going to support these block grants. I can see it coming. What I'm asking, if you don't do it now, call a charrette, do whatever you have to do, but try and come up with a backup plan for when these block grants end, because I hope you understand the magnitude of the disaster. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Thank you.
We do. All right. Anybody else? We can't take any action, but I will tell you this, Mr. Farlow, that Councilman Barlow and myself are active with what we call the Corridor of Hope issues, which take place in the old homeless corridor. And believe me, there are discussions with the service providers and neighborhood services with the city, as well as Metro, as to the significance of not having these block grants and how that is going to decimate every good thing that we've done so far over there. We understand that unless a miracle takes place, that the Salvation Army courtyard, I'm not talking about inside where folks can eat and sleep, the courtyard where they congregate during the day is going to be closed because they won't have the money to keep it open, and 500 homeless people will be back on the street without any restrooms other than 2 restrooms which are located at Catholic Charities. So that is just one example of what happens when those who are most vulnerable in our society aren't given the opportunity to have these kind of funds that you're addressing. And we talk about it all the time.
I need to just, I guess, follow along on your back. You know, our governor went back in Washington, D.C., and he tried to talk to, I guess, our delegation back there. And like the next day in the paper, it said in there, you know, Senator Reid says, tell Sandoval, Nevada's on its own. And I know when I used to represent Fort Master Lane, I had one of our electeds from Washington go over there with me, and they got out of their car and they looked down there and they said, now this is before we ever had a cleanup over there. Looked down the street like this and looked at me and he said, yeah, you got a problem, Councilman. Got back in the car and drove off. And so, you know,
true story. That's a true story.
It's like I say, I tried to say this morning, you know, we're in this together, but we're not getting the help that we need from the, you know, through the state, from the feds. And I just wish that somebody would really grab it by the horn and say, hey, you guys, let's work together. But they don't do that. Yes, I was.
Okay, anybody else like to be heard? All right, then we'll go on to item number 69. This is council member recognition. Would any council members like to speak? I know that, okay, Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to invite all the businesses who are in Ward 4 to the next Ward 4 Business Network. This is something I just recently started, and it's a way to help out the businesses that are in Ward 4. There's 3 reasons why I started it. One was to allow businesses in Ward 4 to communicate with each other and find out how they can support each other and what the issues are. The second is to have an educational component, so we have guest speakers show up at the meeting, and the third is for me to understand what the issues are concerning businesses so I can help them out. The next meeting, or the meetings are held the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. at the Durango Hills Community Center located at 3521 North Durango. It's run by the YMCA of Southern Nevada. Our next meeting is Thursday, February 10th. We're going to have Adam Hodson there, who's a CPA, and he will be talking about the 2011 tax laws that affect small businesses. And it's timely because businesses, just like individuals, are going to be starting to file their taxes. So you'll be getting some good information on small business tax issues. If you need more information or you'd like to be added to our email list, you can just call my office at 229-2524. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilman Barlow?
I just wanted to ask Councilman Starvis, I just wanted to ask you if, are you doing this with the businesses throughout your whole ward, or you do it in regions? How are you doing it?
It's all the businesses that are in Ward 4. I reached out to all of them to let them know I was starting this particular network, and we have added them onto an email list. So it's businesses in Ward 4. You're welcome to attend to see how it goes. And
all of Ward 4, and you meet once a month?
We meet once a month. And if you want to start it in any of your wards, I'd be glad to let you know how we're doing it.
We have started a little bit, but I don't think we're progressing as well as we should, so I wanted to just see how you're doing, and I would like to come sometime. Thank you.
I think there was an article in The View about that.
Yes, there was an article in The View. It was a very good article, and we're getting pretty good attendance, and you know, it's about struggling businesses and how the city of Las Vegas can help them out, so it's working out very well.
Very good. All right, Councilman Barlow.
Yes, Mayor and Council, thank you so very much. Like I've been doing for the last 12 months, and thank you, Mayor, for bringing this to my attention as far as your coffees with the community. I host Coffee with the Councilman every first Thursday of every month, and tomorrow, February 2nd, at Starbucks at the block of Bonanza and Rancho, I will be hosting Coffee with the Councilman from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. for residents and business owners that would like to communicate with me. It's an open door forum. Please come out and have coffee or tea with me and let me know. Thank you so very much. February 3rd. Thank you, Councilwoman. February 3rd, Thursday, February 3rd. And I'm open and willing to communicate with anyone that has any questions, comments, or concerns as it relates to the city or Ward 5. And in addition to that, Mayor, a good friend of the community, I would like to make mention Mr. Frank Perna passed away recently, and I would like to just say a few words in regards to Mr. Frank Perna, who died at the age of 77 on January 26th of 2011. He was born May 24th, 1933 in Caleres, Pennsylvania, and was and lived here in Nevada for 19 years. Frank served in the United States Coast Guard and the United States Army during the Korean War. He was an advocate, artist, and patriot who loved his country and this community. I just wanted to let the community know that viewing will take place at on this Friday, February 4th, from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Palm Mortuary, 600 South Jones Boulevard. And the family is requesting that in lieu of flowers, donations can be made to a local shelter that can directly help persons and family of need. And just want to let you know that Frank Perna really loved this community that he resided in for the last 19 years, and he will be sorely missed in our community. Thank you, Mayor.
A great advocate on behalf of the vets. No
Absolutely.
question. Okay, anybody else? Oh, Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to do my best to emulate Councilman Wolfson as I'm filling in for him today. As you know, at the end of every council meeting, Councilman Wolfson shows everyone in the community a missing runaway juvenile, and today he does that on behalf of Nevada Child Seekers. Today we'd like everybody to recognize on the monitor, I believe, Brian Camacho Flores. He goes by Flores Camacho. He is 16 years old, 5 foot 6 inches tall, 135 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He is a Hispanic young man. He was last seen January 9th around the Galleria Mall at Sunset Road in Henderson. He was wearing a white shirt, black Dickie shorts, black shoes, and carrying a black backpack. Brian has a pierced lip, a tattoo on the left side of his head, and one on his right wrist. He frequents the apartments at Russell Road and US 95 and may be in the company of an adult Hispanic male named Max. If any of you have any information as to Brian's whereabouts, please call Nevada Child Seekers at 702-458-7099 or the City of Henderson Police Department, 702-267-5000. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And on Saturday, I'll be out, and everybody's welcome to join me and participate in the Make-A-Wish Walk. It's going to be out at Town Center. We used to have it downtown. I don't know why they moved it out there. It was great on Fremont Street, but it will be out there, a lot of people for a wonderful cause, and that's at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. All right. Hearing nothing else, the meeting's oh, wait, that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, are we you going to watch the Super Bowl?
No.
You're not going to watch the Super Bowl?
I'm going into closed session. Item number 57. Our next item is to go into closed session to discuss labor negotiations. May I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
So moved, Your Honor.
All right, then we're going to go into closed session, and at the conclusion of that, the meeting is adjourned.